channel may review knives, but I have the most fun on the lines. Settle in and grab a snack. Juvan and his vibe will arrive to attack. Talking blades and casting shade. There may be some friendly debate, but please no hate. Wow! My channel may My channel may review knives, but I have the most fun on the lives. Settle in and grab a snack. Juvan and his vibe will arrive to attack. Talking blades and casting shade. There may be some friendly debate, but please no hate. But please no hate. My channel may very few knives, but please no hate. But please no hate. Wow. But please no hate. Wow. Very few knives, but please no hate. But please no hate.
YouTube was good. It's your boy Juvan.
This is Juvan's Knife Flicks. 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 Every day carry for your viewing pleasure. We just having fun together. Haters try to say we weird, but we doing better. Knife community is all that matters. Welcome to the Knife live stream. Be yourself, say what's up, put the knives up. We on the stream, have a good time. Welcome to the Knife live stream. Be yourself, say what's up, put the knives up. We on the stream, have a good time. This is Juvan's Knife Flicks. 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 This is Juvan's Knife Flicks.
Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharp in Friday night. Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. The craft with steady flow. Steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. Karambit steel. Every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juvan streaming, doing the trick.
Debate. Don't hate. 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 We're gonna take you back. Gonna take you way back with the positive rap. Now tell me how about that? And in a matter of fact, yo, don't believe the hype. We about to shine a light. It's about to be out of sight. The classic sound that's coming back around. It's the ultimate breakdown that you can get down to. And it's brand new just for you. So take a listen, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take you back. We're gonna take you way back to the sounds of the past for the message that will last. Debate. Don't hate. Debate. Don't hate. Debate. Don't hate. Debate.
no hesitating. Come on, let's debate it. This hatred is faded. Now get up on the mic and tell me what you say.
We came here to have a good time. We came here to free our minds. Don't leave that negativity behind, 'cause it's a celebration of life.
We're gonna take you back, gonna take you way back with a positive rap. Now tell me how about that? And in a matter of fact, yo, don't believe the hype. We about to shine a light. It's about to be out of sight. A classic sound that's coming back around. It's the ultimate breakdown that you can get down to, and it's brand new just for you. So take a listen, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take you back.
We're gonna take you way back to the sounds of the past with the message that will last.
Debate, don't hate. Debate, don't hate. Debate, don't hate. Debate, don't hate. Debate, yo, I
Went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juvon.
Here's Milky, the marvelous milking cow. It's fun to milk her, gonna do it right now. She drinks the water when we pump her tail. She's raising her head, it's milking time now. Her pre-pen milk is a feeling the pail.
She drinks water and goes for 10 milk.
Milky, the marvelous milking cow.
What is up, guys? For those of you who are here early, can you hear me? Can you guys see me? I hope everything's good. Hope you can see these few knives that I borrowed from my buddy, A to Z EDC, my local buddy, who's been fortunate to pick up these very good knife companies' knives on drop. I introduced him to him when our buddy Ron Crow sent me one to review. And Jacob's going to join us tonight. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Very Good Knife Company. I think most of you are. What is up, everybody? I'm going to come through and say hellos in just a second. But that's going to happen probably between 8:45 Central and 9. He will come in. You guys can ask some questions. We'll have some other guests kind of here hanging out with us that you guys know. So it'll be, I'm looking forward to it. Happy Friday. It is now Friday, end of the week for most of us. For me, every day is the end of the week. What can I say? What happens when you're not employed? But I'm gonna go through here real quick and say howdy to brother Groundfog. Good to see you, my man. B Shady was in here early. Channel member, what is up, B Shady? Marco, what is up, brother? I don't know if these guys are back yet, but they were here early. My man, Hey Man, in the house. Sterling Stutes was in the house. Sure, a lot of these guys will come back because we weren't going to start till 8:15. But when we're always up against my buddy said faction, Maddie and Steve, I feel like if we can jump in early, we'll jump in early. Give us a little extra time. Just the IPEDC. Never been here before. Welcome. You are at a good place. We're going to hang out. We're going to have some great knife information coming in from brother Jacob. He's going to have to tell me how to pronounce his last name if he wants to pronounce his last name. I know him as Jacob. I met those guys. I had a channel member. I apologize for the meowing. I had a cat that's been running around my house. It's been feral for about a month, a little kitten, kind of middle-sized, 6-7 months old. Well, anyway, the little bastard came in like 3 nights ago and fell asleep on the couch. Well, every night now he comes in. I've got another cat that's a little older. So the little cat's going through its kind of crazy stage. So there's no telling what could happen. I could get bitten. I could get, there's no telling what will happen. I'm hearing all kinds of weird noises. The Grinch, what is up? Welcome, welcome. Glad to see people here. I want to get a lot of people coming in here for Jacob. I don't know if y'all watch his live streams. Anyway, what I was saying earlier before, 1931 Leatherworks. Are they on, Terry? Hold on a second. Let me go over here and show you guys. YouTube is putting a hammer on me because I just opened this up and they are indeed on. So I'm going to go over here and show you what I do. And I assure you, you'll still see them. So I'll go to monetization. I will turn them to manual, which means I have to manually reach over here and click that little button to serve an ad, and it wouldn't go to anybody. So there should not be any more ads, but we did this Tuesday. YouTube served ads anyway. You'll see little side ads. I see them in live streams now where I'll go silent. You'll see the stream on one side. The other side will show up with an ad. They're usually like 5 seconds. I don't know what's going on there. It is crazy. Henry G, but the good news is there are other channels that are still using people's Google's handles. At least everybody's regular names are back in my chat, at least for right now. Brother Joe Isabella, channel member, one of the most crafty gentlemen I know, and one of the best people. If y'all haven't chatted with Joe, chat with Joe. Well, wish him well. Tell him howdy and go to his Instagram page. We'll go to Instagram pages here in a second. That seems to be fun. It's not shilling for anything. It's just showing off cool stuff that I've seen over the last week because I do spend quite a bit of time. I don't go to a lot of knife websites anymore because hadn't been buying knives for about 2 years, so I don't want to be tempted. But I do like going to Instagram and seeing some of the new makers that I hadn't been aware of. Sierra Rick, thank you. That means a lot. Those shorts are, I've had people tell me they were a bad idea. I had YouTube tell me they were a good idea. They don't help with my long form engagement, but they really help with my reach. And I think people enjoy them. I get people that absolutely hate them. I get some of the best hate comments, and I'm way behind in my comments. Brother Richard Hopkins, channel member extraordinaire. All right. We got a link to go look at right now. I'm going to click that. I'm going to stop sharing that. Turned off the ads. Hopefully you guys won't see them. But Brother Joe Isabella, who's in the chat, I don't know if his books are open. I'm sure you could DM him. Cool little knife. But I have a feeling that Joe made the handles for that little knife. So cool knife content, cool funny content, but I want you to see the man, the myth, the legend himself. I want you to see his scale work. That's a little Tucson that he put some scales on. I've got one behind me that he put some scales on, a TS 150. Those are some little acrylic glow nuts he made that are just gorgeous. I gave several of those away that he was kind enough to send out to the channel. He makes pocket jank that is multi materials. This is black and black, blue and black G10, mother of pearl, abalone, if I'm pronouncing that right, vintage ebony, and glow in the dark acrylic. You can look at those different materials, the way they're layered up. It is smooth. It feels great in your pocket. It looks great on your desk. I think it's just gorgeous. But he's one of those, just like a lot of you guys are. Look at, I mean, he does these little tanks, these little armaments. Ultim, Westinghouse linen, paper micarta. Looks like caramel, vintage micarta almost. All the little pieces are, look at that. I mean, that's what you call desk jank. That is what I call sexy desk jank. Need something that'll pass a metal detector that hopefully you don't have to use. It won't hold an edge very long. Well, that one's a little blunt, but it would definitely be a an attitude adjuster. But just a beautiful piece. He makes dice. He makes, I mean, you could probably talk to Joe and commission him to do just about anything amazing you wanted something turned into. Here's a little piece. Pieces like this I love that are multi-materials. You'll have some hardwood, some Westinghouse micarta. Looks like red linen rod I'm not familiar with, but some Ultim up here in the front. Looks like some fat carbon right here on top. Looks like he did a little knife that has the same fat carbon handle. But just beautiful stuff. Joe Isabella, if you're not subscribed to his Instagram page, he's definitely a great follow. He will woo you in your stream daily. He also posts some really killer knives. He gets tagged in a lot of really killer stuff because, like on that Stevie post, he made the jank for it. I don't know what she's scratching. Hey, what are you doing? I apologize, guys. That little feral cat makes me nervous. But look at that. Give me 2 seconds while you look at that. I got to go do a little quick hairball rub. Y'all hold on for 2 seconds. I apologize. The little cat sucking and hacking on a big hairball. But anyway, go follow Joe. I know that his link was just dropped in the chat. I'm going to drop it in there again. Y'all jump in, give him a follow on IG. Look him up for if you're looking for something really cool. No, what I'm saying is, Sierra Rick, I'm in a couple of YouTube groups. There are a lot of creators. I'm not a very creative creator, i.e., I don't have a lot of editing tricks. I don't do a lot of cut scenes. I'm just kind of it's because the content that brought me up in YouTube was watching this kind of content, kind of like Metal Complex, just straight up look at the knife. Well, shorts, before I ever did a long form content, I actually had a shorts channel. All I posted on YouTube was shorts, and it got me about 600 subscribers. Most of those were from people in the community. Well, and this gentleman that just jumped in here, we were at National Blade Show 2022 or 23. He goes, I want you to try something. because YouTube had been promoting shorts through all of our studios. I'd never gotten into them, but I do 15-second shorts. He said, post this up to your YouTube, see how many views you get. And it was an instant. It was early in my game, 4,500 views in like what, Shane, an hour?
Yeah, it wasn't even that long.
And what they do, the reason like Shane, and I'm going to start going vertical on Tuesday nights, you're put in the short stream. So you open yourself up to a much wider audience for people to see you. I know you guys have noticed that in the Honey Bucket, where Stevie will get some really cool people in there. He'll get some trolls too. But what I was saying about the short comments is if you set a short out there that gets 17,000 views, a lot of them are overseas and they're going to tell you you're hateful. You've got a weapon that wouldn't be legal in my country. Do you not read the paper? All the violence that's going on. Yeah, I do read the paper, but that's not the reason I posted it. Right. So that's what I mean about getting a lot of hate in shorts, because shorts get so many eyeballs on them. And so many people, I used to have people early on when I'd be walking down the hall of my office building, just flicking a knife, and I'd name the knife. I wasn't talking at the time. And I'd have people say, I live in Germany. You wouldn't get away with that. You know, you'd lose your job. If I knew your employer's name, I'd call, people wanting to dox you. Just people get very passionate about, and I could understand if they're getting, don't have the right to protect themselves and people are using blades against them.
But John, the thing you have to remember about those people don't exist in the real world.
I agree. Those
people only exist on the internet.
I will agree with that. And I consider them
a very small group of really sad underachievers that don't have anything else to do.
Well, I've got a standard. Thanks for watching.
Never succeeded at anything. And, I've had people mention that I need to add mods because Kyle, I don't call Kyle every time I go live vertical. Half the time I don't know that I'm going to go live. I just do it. But I don't because the only thing you can do to those people to truly bother them and make them go away is ignore them.
Exactly right.
They want to be timed out. They want to see their name on the screen where you timed them out.
They want to feel disruptive.
It's literally all they have in life.
Well, it's like a heckler at a comedy show. They want to be noticed. And if you do kind of silence them by not paying attention to them, and especially the static comments on videos.
Comedy show. Throw that motherfucker out.
The heckler? They can be funny,
that guy talk. If you want to run your mouth, pass it like a Matt Rife show, where it's mutual.
Where he's made his living. I was about to say that off the crowd war.
That's one thing. But
and if you watch a Tim Dillon or somebody, I think that's where it shows their comedic brains, as long as it doesn't derail them off their material. But if they're able to turn it around and put a good slap, I always think that shows.
I remember going to see Josh Wolf in Huntsville. And when we came in, he's like, guys, I usually love crowd work. I encourage it. He's like, but tonight's our last practice before I film my live. So I just like to ask, no heckling, no speaking, because I want to make sure I've got this down. So we didn't, and it was still a great show, but yeah,
But the trolls are a little bit even worse than that. I was looking.
I think it's easier for me because, even if I want to see something that Terry at 1931 Leatherworks or Paul says, I may see every fifth comment they post. Because it's seldom that I stop, and all I can see is like 3 comments. I'll pick one of those to speak on, so I don't get to see it all. I know. A few nights ago, it must have been bad because I remember Terry speaking up about I've no idea what was going on in the comments.
Well, people the
only way to stop them. The only way there's 2 ways to stop them. You can ban them or you can ignore them. But I guarantee you this: the people with that live that sad a life, it's much more rewarding for you to ban them than it is to act like they didn't.
Or to even acknowledge them. As long as they're not. And I think I've got enough mods, since almost everybody's a mod, to silence those people, but that almost gives them a little bit. But you have the opportunity to silence them for the whole stream. Y'all check this out.
The whole point to this, I'm hoping, though, the reason you brought it up is because, you put a lot of hours every week into this. You're trying to make something of this.
But not in my comment section. That's my Achilles heel.
Yeah. but we, and we should back you on that. And if you turn the screen sideways, makes you 50 cents a month more, then turn the screen sideways, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll play it by ear.
This is what's odd. I don't even know how. I don't have my vertical lives monetized. I've never made a penny off of them.
Shane, that should be able something you can set up in your studio where all your lives, everything's monetized.
That year they had me shut down, John, because I didn't use any of it. I forgot how to use all of it.
Well, let's set up a StreamYard when you're around the house, and I'll walk you through it. I will show you on my where you can go step by step. It's just go to customize, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'll also show you how to have your message.
These she's Terry are making that, dude. It is awesome watching him progress.
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to toot his horn too much.
I'll be honest, I would have been happy with these slips, she's whatever we're calling them now. This pocket.
Do you have the first one I sent you, which is a great sheath, but the color?
I don't remember.
I think you shipped it already.
I would have been happy with them were they not this good, because
if you look at the side of this, it's burnished.
I was excited about using somebody that was growing along with me, but I'm more than happy with what's happening right now. And I got another account, Terry. It's up to you if you want to go ahead and make them. But there are 3 frets left. I've got them right here.
Well, I think that one she's coming my way.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
We will need 2 more. But listen, Terry, I don't have the money to pay for them right now. We'll have to collect on another one before I can do that. I'm just letting you know while I'm thinking about it that there are 2 frets left without sheaths. So if you want to go ahead and make them, and then that's up to you. But I can't pay you just yet.
And this one's on its way to me. This is Ryan Ellis's. He was nice enough to let it come to me. Yeah. I'm going to do a full release video on it because I just teased the last one. Yeah. And Shane, what do you call that handle? If somebody wanted to replicate it,
it's acrylic. I mean,
just a purple acrylic. You call it kind of purple swirl acrylic.
Yeah, it's acrylic. It's acrylic resin
with translucent pins, right?
Those are actually glow in the dark pins.
Okay.
They're not all glow in the dark pins, and I apologize.
Can someone get them? I mean, are they?
The reason they're not all glow in the dark pins is every other glow in the dark product I tried doesn't work. Like this knife is supposed to be glow in the dark pins. I have not got these to glow. Well, actually, I've not tried them under a flashlight. I've just tried them under ambient light. Let me put a flashlight on this and see if it does.
And then read Terry's comment when you come back. But yeah, guys, I'm hoping to have that tomorrow. And I didn't do a video on the last one, this one, because I was just testing that. And it's just a great little knife.
All right, so I put a half a vial. Vial's about the size of my pinky. I put a half a vial and 1 ounce of this stuff.
Let me make you big. Hold on.
And it has a very mild glow. Not near, nobody would be happy with it.
Show that handle again, though. That's a really pretty handle.
Yeah, the handles are pretty. And, if I put a bright LED light on it, it does have a light glow to it. I can't imagine how much of the stuff I was supposed to add to make it glow, but I'm still learning with that. This was supposed to be glow pins. I'm not going to advertise them that way because they barely glow at all.
Well, they're translucent. If they glow, it's a special little
Somebody asked about this scale material. It is cool because when they start glowing, they're kind of translucent. But, this is acrylic, guys. This is not going to be, these are not hard use knives. This is not a hard use scale material. I'm sure if this hit the concrete hard enough, that you could hurt it. But, Case has been using acrylic for 100 years. So, I don't have an issue with the fact that.
And I think most of us don't drop our knives or do our best not to.
Right. And I'm not saying I've dropped them at the shop before several times. I drop stuff all the time and I haven't had anything break.
And just to show you how good that material is, I thought that was hardwood, and that is acrylic. That's a Richard Hopkins. It's already been shipped directly to him.
So this one I'd put aluminum pins in it.
Hold on. Let me get back to you.
I like the look of the aluminum pins too. but I've got aluminum pins in this one. It's not. This is not showing up as good as this because, like I said, with this stuff, when you cut it, when you slice it, like this one, you can definitely see the detail in it. You know, you can. It really pops with the color separation. Whereas
Just because the pins are so light.
This is off the exact same piece of material. Now you can see scratches in this. It's not finished yet, but I don't think it's going to pop as much as the other one is.
Well, you'll be surprised what Shane's or Kyle, and I ordered some for that first fret, the polishing cloth. He gave me all 6 grits, the 2 that he does dry, and I didn't buy the same quality sandpaper, but I just bought small enough sheets where I could replicate his steps and just play with the handle, right, and just see if I could get it to be clearer. And when I got to that third or that final polishing cloth, which is light blue, it was amazing what it made pop.
Right.
And there's just a little bit of
a little more pop to it. I just brought them
some knife nut.
But Richard, yours does not have glow pins. I'm not gonna promise anybody glow pins until I find a product that works consistently. I haven't found any that works consistently.
And I think this is blowing my mind as much as anything that's come out of Shane's lab.
That knife that John just showed that did glow really well. I used the exact same measurements on this one, but the difference is this one is urethane resin, where the other one is epoxy resin. So
do you have a mold? How do you work with that? How do you form that into a handle?
Well, they all just start out as rectangles that are way too big. I attach them to the knife. You know,
so they're solid when you attach them.
Yeah, and I just put them on the grinder until it starts sparking, so that I know I've hit the metal again.
And cut off everything that's not awesome. I got you.
Yeah, I don't try to shape them before I mount them. The only thing I'm concerned with is getting the tops level with one another. Keep in mind, none of these are ready, guys. You can still see this still has some blemishes.
I can't tell you how much that swedge. I mean, it makes all the difference in that design. Dude, thank you for thinking about that.
The whole knife just works better, even though it's only a little over a 2-inch blade. It's
tall,
so much more capable now because of that. Just because of the grip you get on it, the pressure that you can
apply. What's up, Robert Jones, Gentleman Boo?
Pushing it through. One of those is Cheetos. I'm not sure which one he wants. But as of right now, after Cheeto picks which one he wants, I believe that leaves 2 frets available at the moment. I've got more Magna Cut to make more, but
there's time on those.
Yeah, there's time on those. Well, I was talking about that tonight on my live stream. The time may be less than I thought, because like these knives in my mind were still a long ways off. Well, then, once you get the scales glued on, everything after that goes so fast that before you know it, you have a finished knife. I actually put the first set of scales on one of the thugs going to Northern Knives tonight, and that's really all I've got to do right now is start putting scales on. So what I'm getting at is those will be done fairly quickly. All the Dillon Mallory Forest fixed blades are ground now. So
have you posted that?
I'm not posting.
Have you kept it secret?
I mean, most people in the community know about it, but I don't want to put anything. I have a bad habit of taking pictures of stuff and putting it out there before it's done.
I got you.
I actually had a maker that I don't know pretty much call me everything but a decent human being, telling me that I was everything wrong with the knife community because of my subpar work and blah, blah, blah. He's entitled to his opinion, but he was right that I should not have posted that knife while I was still working on it. It was easy to pick
that guy. You can post anything.
But my personal feelings, I've felt bad about. Like, Crispy thinks I'm picking at him because I keep talking about his knife, but I won't show anything about it. It's because I don't want to show it before it's in its final form for two reasons. One, it'll take some of the surprise away when he sees it.
I can understand that.
And when you see it the first time, I hate saying this isn't quite ready yet. I mean, I just did it. I just did it tonight with these knives, but I just wanted something to talk about.
Great point, 1931. I was the one that recommended the clip. So that is a Javon back pocket weird things. A lot of people, and I've got a horizontal. I had it out here. Damn it.
Yeah, if you order one ahead of time, let me know, and Terry can. You can work with Terry. He can do the sheath any way you want.
That's his horizontal, and he does it different on the fret, but it's the same basic sheath. It's just got a different carry method.
Yeah.
I'm just a pocket clip, back pocket guy, and that knife's so short.
I like it as a pocket. Me personally, I like that knife in the pocket.
Yeah, and there's some, I mean, I carry them almost all there. And the only one Jeff doesn't have a clip on, I wish I knew Andrew's last name. This is a very good first collaboration. I'll let him talk about it, called the Lone Star.
He's coming on tonight, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And Jeff did, I thought he had 4 because I went by today just to borrow his knives so I'd have them on the table. He's picked up 5 ever since he found out about them. Yep. And he's got 3, these 3 right here, the micarta handles. And he's got mostly Nitro V, which is, I think, Jason's premium steel, what he uses for his upgraded steel. And then he's got 80 CRV2 on one. But these are the signature series. And this is a fat carbon fiber handle, Nitro V. This is one of my favorite designs. And Jeff keeps his knives very dirty. That's called the Falcon.
Yeah.
And guys, it's not light. I mean, it's a full-sized 8.5-inch knife, maybe.
Well, Richard, here's the thing, bud. That get with me. You can get with Terry. He can make you an appendix carry one, because I can always I can take that sheath back and put it on a different fret.
We can put it on a different knife, absolutely. And Richard, what I would recommend is I would have it cantered. If you're going to carry it on your right side, I'd have him stitch it where it's at a slight angle, not a 45, but where it's not truly horizontal.
Right.
It's small enough where you won't notice it on your carry. I just think it helps with the retention if you're doing cartwheels. And
we can make that happen, though, bud.
Hey, Tim. VGKC does make some great knives, and his story is inspirational. It is it's everything I know Shane likes about a story, and it's everything that I like about a story of resilience, a story of I'm going to do something different than I've done for 10 years and make some really tough decisions to make that happen. And his mission statement, which I'll let him share with you, but he's a good guy. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him Saturday night. Unfortunately, Shane wasn't feeling great, but he was having a few crowns and cigars, and we hung out outside under the awnings. And he's just a guy like any of us. He loves knives.
Since you brought that up, I want to say something about that, John. There's a lot of people in this community I care about. I care about everybody as human beings, but some of you I know better than others, and I care more than others. But this is way off topic. But don't ever assume that chest pain is not serious. Don't ever do like I did and waste 2 solid years of your life. Literally pissed away 2 years because I was convinced that I had acid reflux. Because
so you think the GERD all along was symptoms of your?
No, it was never GERD. Talking to my heart doctor, he's like, so tell me what you did to make it go away. I said, I sat down, I ate 2 Tums. Within 5 minutes, it was gone.
Which you were actually resting your.
It was gone because you sat down for 5 minutes. Your heart rate lowered. Your heart was no longer struggling, so it stopped hurting. So yeah, guys, if y'all are having any kind of issues like that, man, do not waste time, because all you're doing is robbing yourself of quality of life now and literally shaving years off the end of your life. So that was my fault. I was convinced that it wasn't my heart, and all
Shane, 90% of us are the same way. We don't believe in doctors.
I know. But, you know, there's still a lot of it I don't believe in. I still believe some of my diabetes medicine is what caused my neuropathy. But, you know, if you're going to not take the medicine, then you got to do something else drastic.
Howdy, Kevin Smith.
You know, so,
Grinch, I agree. And what I love about Jacob and Shane and other knife makers that put it out there online, you know, if you want to watch them go through processes that'll be replicated on your knife, you can do it. I didn't get a chance to watch today, but I noticed.
I wish you had, because I didn't do much grinding today. I switched it up a little bit. I did some epoxy work, and I enjoyed it more because it wasn't just me standing there at the grinder for 2 hours. Now, I'm always nervous to do new things on camera because I know I'm going to fuck it up. And I did. I ruined some. I literally had to go out back and pour it in the dirt because I ruined it because, you know, I wasn't completely focused on what I was doing. I was trying to talk. But I enjoyed tonight's live stream more because I get bored with just standing there swiping and showing y'all, you know. I don't guess y'all do because y'all hang around. But.
Well, I think if you do whatever step you're doing, people will watch. And I've noticed that about Jacob.
Yeah, but I haven't gone live hardly at all doing handle work just because. Is
it harder to set up, or you're having to?
I just feel like I have to concentrate more, and I don't want to worry about the camera.
Don't worry about the camera. I didn't watch it, but Jacob went live, and what he seems to, and it could just be what I see, he seems to do handle finishing as much as any. Yeah. And when he does it, he doesn't address the camera except when he goes from one rack to the next belt. He'll say what he's doing, but the rest of the time he's just going through one knife at a time. Yeah. And it's just, to me, it's fascinating. And I think to a lot of people looking at the views that you guys are getting, I mean, I think there's many people that want to make knives, that collect knives.
It's very hit or miss, man. I had 5,000 views tonight. I had 20,000 views time before last, but the last time I went live, I had like 80. It's rare that it's that low, but it's just hit or miss. I think it's whether or not YouTube deems you worthy to put you in front of people at that moment.
It's all luck. I'm telling you, it's luck. And Ed, a doctor will tell you, yes, you should check that out.
Unless you're a team player. You know, if they picked you to be a team player, they want to push you towards slow or fast growth.
Well, that's usually drawn, from my understanding, based on their revenue. If you look at the Mr. B's, if you look at the Paul brothers, if you look at places where
who's
they can gather,
money? Huh? Okay, it's who's making the money. It's just like, how many times have you got hooked on a television show and it be canceled?
Because what happens is it opens up.
Just didn't make them any money.
Their viewership and their demographic splits open up what's called their CPM, their cost per 1,000 impressions. So if YouTube can share an advertiser 1,000 impressions to one of their shows for $15 per 1,000, where most of us are probably between 5 and 6, they're going to go where the return is. And the advertisers are getting the return off that added CPM because they're getting more qualified eyeballs. It's a scam.
You tell what, I have discovered something over the past 2 days. And I apologize. When I went live the other night, guys, I was not in a good mood. I wasn't mad. I kind of let my depression creep up on me a little bit, and it was triggered by the internet, and it really opened my eyes to how evil some of it really is, because I didn't go searching for anything to piss me off. Channels I've never heard of, people I've never watched, people I've never watched a single video of theirs. And over the last 2 days, I've been bombarded with things that
are designed to aggravate you.
If you look at my algorithm and you know what I enjoy watching, there's no way that the algorithm didn't know that this is going to affect him negatively. This is going to piss him off and cause him to watch more and probably interact hatefully, which I didn't.
And don't you think they're doing that to everybody?
Absolutely. And it's fucking gross, man.
It is gross.
I've never been as disappointed in the human race as I have been over the past couple of days. And I'm not talking about people's politics. I'm just talking about people's humanity and their and lack of compassion or empathy or whatever.
See, Rick,
I got a guy that I considered my friend right here in the knife community. I'm not going to mention who. I've talked to this guy
Hey,
on
Ron.
the telephone. We've had some very serious, very personal conversations, and then within a 5-minute window, we no longer can speak to one another. And that's partially by my choice too. I don't ever want to talk to him again. I'm not mad at him. I wished him the best,
It's
but
the same.
I don't ever want to see his name again. I don't ever want to hear from him again. I had to wash my hands of it. I just don't I don't understand.
Well, the algorithm could go just the opposite way and then lift people up and
It
try to
could
bring
have,
the country
but
together, but
but
it doesn't.
it fed me everything it knew that I was going to be disgusted by, and I literally couldn't get away from it. I tried, man. I was watching nature videos, and as soon as that nature video was over, the very next thing in my face was
Something
just
that was going to trigger you.
something hateful and ugly, and it's just it's horrible, man.
Sierra, that being said, I will always, as long as I do YouTube, I will do shorts. My recipe, because I've noticed over 10, they don't get views. And sometimes you'll get 1 out of 9 that don't, but I do 9 at a time and I do them all at one sitting. So I sit there and they're 15-second videos that I just unsheath and sheath the knife or flick and close a knife, say what it is, and I'm done. It takes me maybe 20 minutes because I copy my 4 tags. And Shane taught me this. The only 4 tags I use are YouTube shorts, YouTube short, and short. Those 4 tags. And then I let it go. I do that 9 times, and I do 1 long form video a day, which I wish I did less long form and I spent more time developing them, but I don't have a creative mind, so I can't. I would just do less. Joe, I will check it. I'm sure Joe sent something cool for us to look at.
Joe does a lot of cool stuff.
But yeah, dude, there's so much. I saw some things today where I was just going to get some opinions that were online from people. I was curious because I knew that I knew how they lent and what their opinion was. And the person that was putting out the video was saying words like, how can you say this guy's innocent? He's been peddling in violent rhetoric for years. And I'm thinking violent rhetoric is debate. Violent rhetoric is not the same as violent action. What the fuck is wrong with these people? And I know I shouldn't talk about it and I won't, but it's just.
I never witnessed anything violent. I think what people forget is that students invited him there because they wanted to hear what he had to say. He allowed people who opposed him to come up and speak and give their opinion, and he gave him his, and that was the end of it. I never
Which
saw
is what we need more of in this
saw
country. People sharing ideas. But the problem was, from what I've heard, and I could be totally wrong, is he had a lot of ears that were tuning into him. And there were threats some people perceived because of those ears. Can y'all see this? This is what Joe just shared. I can't make it any bigger. Just stop. Hold on. We're going to start it again. I apologize, guys. I'm getting some lag.
Joe, are you making these materials, or are you getting the materials and just shaping and polishing them? I think I know the answer on that one right there. That's.
Why is it stopping on me until I go down? It stops till I go like to here. That one's carbon fiber and Ultim, and it's kind of not trapezoidal. For some reason, it's got mother of pearl, and it just stops.
That is weird.
Yeah, I apologize, guys.
What's up there, Lucky Dog Knife Company?
Lucky Dog Knife Company, Andrew. What is happening, brother? Now it's going fine since I quit sharing it. Let me share it again. We're looking at some pocket jank, some art from Joe Isabella. Let's see if it'll run for me. Now that I shared it, won't.
I really want to send Joe a knife for him to put scales on it, just to show out and show what he can do.
Dude, I've got an example of that. I think I've shown you, haven't I? You know that little knife that was the knife that brought me into small fixed blade, that Tucson TS 150?
Yeah.
Well, I gave a couple away. Well, Joe had one that he made custom Arctic carbon fiber scales for and sent to me to have one.
Well, I know the kind of work, I want to see it, but I know the kind of work he does. I'm just saying I want to see it on one of my knives eventually.
Oh yeah,
go about that.
Kyle, there you are.
And I don't have an issue at all with knocking some money off the price of a blade and doing it as a collab, just like I'm doing with Brian F. If you have an interest in having something done by Brian, we can make that happen. I want to talk to Joe more about that. But if you have an interest in getting something from Joe, maybe you've already got a piece of jank that you really like and you want a knife to match it. I can do everything but the scales, and if Joe's interested, then Joe can do some scale work.
I got 4 CJRBs in today, and the one I was most excited about was that Pyrite XL that Ryan turned me on to, the Pyrite.
What,
dude,
you got that?
It's jacked up. It's got a safety on it, and something's wrong with the plunge lock. I've already reached out to him, and I did an unboxing.
You showed it all.
I showed that it's jacked up.
I mean, but you can't just show me what it looks like.
Yeah,
not the jacked up part, just the knife. I know Kyle's not a big fan.
The regular one,
I've always been a fan of CJRB for some reason.
The regular one was $29 at Amazon, but this one's got this weird safety, which is unnecessary. This little black thing.
Yeah.
But what it's got is it's got very little detent, and the buttons almost feels like it doesn't have a spring in it, but it's longer than the original Pyrite XL. So it's super thin.
Yeah.
FRN handles, and it's probably going to be under $40. But this one's a no-go. And I sent him an email already that, I can show it if you want me to, but unfortunately I did an unboxing and it was no bueno.
Well, that kind of makes me feel good though, because John, that could happen to anybody. You can get a bad knife from any company. I think it's cool that they didn't send you something hand-picked.
No, all of them have been sealed, and they'll do it again. And
my daughter carries a Pyrite. When they released that pink Pyrite, her knife was.
The great thing about reputable companies and reputable retailers is they will make it right. They will replace it. This one has impressed me. This is a Ray Laconico design, probably that same $40 to $50 range, because it uses that AARP M9. It's got thumb studs and a front flipper. But I love the blade.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look very Laconico-y in the handle. If I hadn't seen it on the blade, I would not assume that this was a Laconico. And this is a liner lock, which is my favorite of their different kind of locks.
I guess it's cool that the budget knife companies are trying to do, because that millwork looks like something you'd see on a Chris Reeve.
Well, what's unique to me is, and I've reached out to CGRB to ask to look at a couple, because but this is their FRN. This is their G10, and there's only about $8 difference, and it looks the same. It feels a little heavier, but I think there's a place for that. Even though I'm not a consumer, I used to be, for that sub $50 knife. It makes for a great knife for somebody looking to use a tool.
Oh, I bought a new knife today. I need to go get it.
What's up, Fred?
I'll give Kyle a minute to talk. Let me go to the truck and get that thing. It wasn't for me. Cam's coming to hang out with me this weekend, and I told you at his birthday he was telling me he was ready for a better knife.
Oh yeah.
And I just happened to be somewhere today and run across this thing at a deal, so I got it. So let me go get it.
Grab it, and I'm gonna tell.
It'll take me 2 or 3 minutes. It's out my truck.
What the name of this Ray Laconico is? Let me get to CJRB and I'll tell you. So I've already put the box up, and I want to say it. I'll say it wrong just from my memory, but it is the Ray Laconico. See here. The Pyrite Light is such a great knife. I was really hoping that the large would be awesome. But this little guy is called, some scanning. That's another thing. CJRB has a lot of models. Kyle, I'm not trying to cut you off, buddy. I'm just scanning for.
You guys are talking, so I'm just letting you go. I wasn't.
No, I'm just talking to myself, dude. I'm just answering a question in chat, and I'm trying to find the name of this regular Conoco knife, and for some reason, not
What's
showing
going on,
up.
everyone? Sorry, I didn't say individually hi to everyone, but how's everyone doing? Sorry, I'm late.
You're not late.
I just woke up from an unexpected nap.
They've got some really high-end pyrites now, I've noticed, that are like in the 300 range in S90 and fat carbon. It's called the Kestrel. It's called the CJRB Kestrel.
That's
and it's $49.
That's a Conoco custom.
Yeah, it's this is the inexpensive version.
Right, no, I'm saying, but Ray makes a custom version that not even CJRB.
Does it look anything like that?
Yes. Yeah, that's the Kestrel.
And then the other one is this Maxima, which is in my Carta. It's a bar lock, but the bar locks are snappier for some reason on Kaisers. On everything besides a Benchmade, the bar locks don't seem, they're still not detent driven knives. But Kyle, did I show you this the other night? I think I did because I almost hurt myself with it.
Yeah.
I've kind of learned how they operate it. Because it's not going to hit the blade as long as it stays in your hand, as long as you hold on to this little part that comes out.
Whoever owned this gear I picked up today must have had a dog. Because BB is damn near climbing inside this bag.
It smells like something. I'm going to make these go off the stage. I'm going to show them to you real quick. This is the Tradition, which was the first one I saw. I saw the Tradition Junior. I don't know if you can see that hollow grind.
Boy, that's a what?
It's called the Tradition. It's
Who's
one of Jacob's. Just Jacob.
Okay,
I'm just going to show these last Jacob knives to everybody before
I thought you were talking about an artisan tradition. I'm sorry.
No, then I'm going to pull them off the stage. This is the Hawk, which is a flat ground, little medium hard use slicer with Magna Cut hand or a micarta handle. These are all under $200. And then he's got his signature series that have the fat carbon and nitro V. And this one's
I got these just for you, Kyle.
Knee pads. That's a Tradition Junior.
No comment.
These are actually military NSN brand, never worn knee pads. I got them for $5 a pair.
Hey, if the shit hits the fan and I had knee pads, I'd probably put them on.
Absolutely.
But this one's a little shorter, but most importantly, it's thinner, the Tradition Junior. And then
you don't have
he had these IFAC pouches, $5 a piece.
What were you saying, Kyle?
I was just going to say, you don't have Kaiser branded knee pads?
No, goo. Hey, Kaiser was nice to me at the dinner. I had a conversation with them. They send me some pretty cool stuff to show.
Kaiser's even nice to me at the dinner.
They were very nice to you at the dinner. And you got to admit, that young man and young lady, whatever their position was, they were the front of Kaiser, but I don't know how they fit into the overall scheme, but they were nice people.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty nice knife for $150 in S45 or what they call S45. You can also get it in a drop point. They've got two blade styles. And that raise that's Mark, isn't it Mark who's Luke 10? Isn't his first name Mark Perez?
Yeah, way to dox him.
It's on his designs, Goob. But the raise, which I don't have out here, is a wonderful knife. He showed it to me at Blade Show, and you guys we'll go to New Breed EDC site. He's got a Wingspan, one of his own releases. It's $150. You can get it in a hollow ground or flat ground. I got to play with it at that same Kaiser dinner that Shane makes fun of me at because I was on a heavy dose of mushrooms.
Oh, I make fun of you because you were on mushrooms. Yeah, I was there.
I walked by Stevie And I said, Stevie, the cringe level in here is driving me to fucking get ready to jump. He laughed.
Oh,
There was so much cringe. I'll tell you who I wish I'd talked to more for no other reason, and I mean this sincerely, that she was a very nice, open person. I said hi to her, but Melissa Backwoods was taking the time to engage with everybody and just talk. I mean, where she was, I don't know if you noticed that, Shane. She stood over there and just kind of had conversations with people. Ian Coates talked to her forever. Hey, Derek, for real?
I bet she enjoyed that.
I'm
hey,
sure
see
she
what's on the
did.
screen. Oh, damn it.
I'm sorry, dude. You go ahead. I'm
okay.
You want to see what I got, Cam?
Yeah, share that real quick, and then I'll highlight this comment.
For $40.
Which one is that?
The Victorinox Trekker. One with the hole in the blade, 14C.
Cool.
For $40. I think that'd make him a great first real knife. Only bad thing, it doesn't come with scissors, but it comes with a can opener, bottle opener, screwdriver, all saw, and that blade.
Fred, she's authentically humble, in my opinion. In my opinion, she really is. And again, when you go to her Instagram or any of her posts, it tells you right up front, reach out to my business manager for my rates. So she's definitely making money for what she does, but she should. She doesn't come across as pretentious at all to me. And unfortunately, I see both sides of that. I see creators with 1/3 or less the subscribers that she does that are much more pretentious.
There's what I put on the screen for Terry. He's selling a 154 mini grip for $60.
Oh my God.
And Zach said it's real.
Who's selling it?
Terry.
Oh, I thought he was. When I saw he posted it, I just thought you meant somebody was selling those knives for that. So it's not a distributor. It's Terry himself. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I got in a thread the other day. Somebody was selling a clone on Instagram. And I jumped in on it hard, and there were a lot of people in there on it hard. But it was like, it wasn't an ad. It was a post of somebody literally trying to sell a Benchmade, and they were calling it a Benchmade bug out for $40. And it was an obvious clone. I'm sure people reported the page. I didn't. I'm not into reporting pages. What was that, Shane?
This is that Victorinox.
Oh, it's probably a good slow roller.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's not serrated. I like that.
It is serrated.
Oh, is it serrated?
Yeah, right. This first inch is it, but the rest of it's serrated.
It's a half serrate.
Yeah. For a 10-year-old kid, though, he'll do good with serrated. Does it lock? Yes, it's a liner lock.
Yeah, it's got that inside kind of backwards liner lock.
It is backwards. It goes the opposite direction.
It does. They do.
I've never had one of these. I know, back when I used to watch a lot of, they're not called that, but kind of, new to the EDC world videos. What should I get first? This knife was always on everybody's list. It's got a really nice high polish finish to it too.
My whole childhood, besides before I had my Buck 110, I had a little fixed blade I used hunting, a little case that I still have of my dad's safe, but a Victorinox my grandfather gave me, it probably had about 7 tools on it I used forever. That was my carry around, build a fort, always having my pocket knife. And I used the scissors more than anything else. And that was before I was cutting doses in half. I bought a special Victorinox for that, the little small one. What's it called? The one that only has the scissors, the pin blade, and the file.
Tinker, I think.
That was a deadhead's fucking tool, my friend. Because that little file had that little screwdriver head at the end, which was a great bowl scraper. Burnt Relic, what's up, brother? Victorinox is great. I think Leatherman's good. I know their blade's soft. I've got 2 Leatherman, and I was very late to the Leatherman game. And one of you guys told me an interesting story about why their knives are priced the way they are because of how they're going to be merchandised next to the Leathermans. And I found that to be very valid. And it makes sense that we're not the market.
I like this thing. I'm going to go back and get me one.
Did you get it online or did you find it somewhere locally?
Yeah, I've got a buddy that does a lot of
Hey, I'm not going to throw Ron under the bus, but I kind of am. He sent me a picture of a Benchmade that he bought yesterday, and I'm calling it a ZT. I don't care what you say.
He deals in a lot of military surplus stuff. Like I got these military cold weather gloves for $10 a pair. I'll just keep them in my truck. You know, if I'm ever broke down, it's cold. I ain't got to worry about freezing to death.
Damn, I think he texted it to me.
I got this AR grip that holds what's that big lithium battery?
18650.
Yeah.
Is that hooked up to your red dot?
It's not the most. I don't know if I'll use it or not. I don't really. It doesn't feel super ergonomic, but it's cool that it holds that battery. I may put it on my PCC because my Aimpoint M4 carries this very battery. So I'm sure that's Chinese made.
An Aimpoint M4, that would be a 123 or a 18350. 18350.
Yeah.
For rechargeable.
I got some cold weather polypropylene drawers, some under drawers.
Is that stuff that you put in your survival bag?
Yeah. I've got a bag in the back of my truck. Like if it's not an end of the world bag, man. It's just I don't ever want people to find out that I froze to death on the side of the road.
That's an 18650.
Yeah.
A 18350 is about that tall.
Okay, this is 650 then.
Hey,
the one in
somebody was asking me the other day, Kyle.
It's supposed to last they say 7 years, but they recommend to change it every 4.
Well, I used to use 18650s exclusive in all my vape setups, but I wonder what the difference between the Sony VT5s for a flashlight battery. I don't know if you need different 18650s in terms of the wattage than a vape battery.
A lot of them on the flashlights, depending upon the brand, you may need a button top. It depends on how the spring's set up, but a lot of those flashlights aren't going to be putting out nearly the power that what the mod's going to put out, so you don't need as big of an amperage draw off of it. So like I run in my flashlights, like I've got like my Surefire Streamlights, I've got Panasonic, I can't remember the name of it, something B, and it's only like a 10 amp battery. It's not or 8 amp battery because it's not pulling that much draw, and it's got a little more milliamp hours, so you can
see that little button head right there.
Yeah,
that's a Lubin 3400. What's it? I can't read the other stuff, but this is a light they sent that just went live yesterday, the day before, and I'm surprised. I put it in backwards. Hold on before I blow it up.
Derek, we don't get a whole lot of super cold weather or snow or ice, but when we do get it, we're not prepared for it.
So it's got an internal charging, but I always take it out and put it in my external charger. Why is it not working? Hold on. Maybe dead.
Yeah, don't charge internally.
Well, I know why it's not working because I have it on safe. So you got to turn it on. You've got this front light mode that gives you this front light, and then it's got a dial on the side. Oh, this is a side light. I'm sorry. Got a dial on the side that can turn it down or up. So if you want to put it in your tent to read, that's a side light. Kind of funky, but it's also got a an RGB light section. I don't know how to get to that. Hold on.
Dude, that annoyed the piss out of me.
It does. Hey, we got Jacob here, guys.
Come on. That's why I like tail switch lights. I click it, it comes on.
Absolutely.
Jacob.
Tail switch only.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Man, I'm gonna make you big in a second after I introduce some of you people. I've got 5 of your knives that A to Z let me borrow that we've been talking about. I'm gonna take these off the screen for now.
Nice.
What's up, Jacob?
What's up, Shane?
This is Shane, who you've met, and this is Kyle Coonley, my sharpening buddy, who I don't know if you've met in person, but he's very aware of your stuff.
I'm not
Super
sure
cool
I have. But nice
kind of
meet
my
you.
little group for Friday nights, right?
That'll do.
How have you been?
Hanging in there, man. Like a booger in a screen door.
Well, you've been busy, haven't you?
Busy as ever. Busy as ever. I can't complain.
I mean,
I'm on
you're
my
live
toes
almost every day, right? Doing some kind of
for the
stage or
most part. Yeah. Yeah, the lives are kind of touchy because they're just things that people don't really care to see or they won't stick around for, and if you don't hit that algorithm like in the first few minutes, if you're not engaging people, then nobody will stay. It'll kind of just die. Um,
well, you don't get showed to other opportunities
yeah,
if you're not
yeah.
getting that
So it
engagement in the
seems
first.
like if I'm not making sparks or making something really shiny, nobody cares.
Well, I've learned a ton, and I know I used to send Shane links, and he's watched a lot. And I think it's enjoyable content for somebody like me who doesn't know anything about making a knife, but can appreciate a well-made knife. The first one I think I saw of yours was a Tradition Junior that one of my viewers sent. And that's when I reached out to Mrs. Very Good Knife Company just to say, wow, I've never heard of you, but what a beautiful knife. And that's when she told me a little of your story. And I was hoping you'd share however much of your, because you're a young company, but you're really so much more experienced than a young maker. You're not a young maker.
No,
You're
I've had
young.
the
You're a young maker. I don't mean to take away from your age, but you're
I've
not a new maker. So
seasoned, I guess you could
seasoned,
call it.
right?
I've been doing this since 2010, pretty much full time. So my dad was a stonemason for about 30 years or so. 2008, when everything went downhill, he kind of started selling off his massive case collection, and we were doing gun shows just about every weekend for all of 2009, and we had just started to dabble into putting handles on already made blades and things like that, and things like, let's see, things like this.
Let me make
This
you
is
big for
just
just a second, because that's not just your normal handle.
No, this is just a piece of sandbar stag. I mean, it's just it says 2011. It's pretty early.
I got you. I got you.
Where were
So
you
we did
buying
that.
the blanks at, Jacob?
We bought a lot of blanks from like Smoky Mountain Knife Works at the time, or and then we got in with a guy named Doug Metzger. He owned um, Premium Knife Supply, which is owned by different people now. But when Doug was running Premium Knife Supply, which is in Hayesville, North Carolina, or at least it used to be, that's only about an hour, 20 minutes from here. So we'd go there all the time. And pretty quickly, we just, you'd start hearing from people at gun shows who were picking up your knives, and they were like, where are you getting your blades from, or are you doing your blades? And of course our answer was, well, we bought the blades. And they're like, oh, so you're just an assembler. And mindset shift. So we
Right.
don't want to be just an assembler anymore.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to ask your opinion on something.
And
I went,
real quickly, any question that Shane's answers or asks you, you can always say, I don't want to answer that because, and he won't hold it against you. He's throwing something at me that I'm like, but go ahead, Shane. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I went and visited with Brad Weiss at Alabama Damascus, kind of toured his place. It's not much of a tour. It's a very old, rundown building, but
Yeah.
a lot of nostalgia around it. But anyway, while I was there, I think there were 4 other customers present when I was there from all over the United States, like guys with their wives in RVs that, they were all knife makers. And it shocked me how many of them came there to buy blades. Like, I guess, they'd just be on some trip, well, let's whip by here. They would buy 100 blades,
Right.
and then when I got to Blade Show, I started noticing a lot of similarities in some
Mm-hmm.
really, really high end knives. I'm talking about $1,500, $2,000,
Oh yeah.
$2,500 knives. I'm like, I've seen that blade.
Yeah.
And luckily, nobody was dishonest with me when I asked. They're like, "Yeah, it's a 15 N20 blade from Alabama Damascus." I was like, "That's $30." You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but I think the
And I
handle
wasn't,
is
I get it.
insulting their price, because this is the actual question I want to ask you. When I look at the handle work that they were doing and the refinement, I just can't imagine have spent my whole life doing what they do and being as good as they are and not having that mindset shift and thinking, if I
We'll
make
see.
something this premium, this high end, and this highly refined, it would kill me not to be making my own blades at some point. I was just shocked how many of them are still buying blades.
Yes.
Somebody else. And that's not bad mouthing them at all.
No.
Curiosity.
To me, the only reason you would do that is because you want to, and it's easy. I mean, that's the baseline right there. It's
And your buyer is a collector, right?
confused
Your
on
buyer's typically on that type of knife's not a hard use knife guy. They're going to be more of a collector, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, those knives weren't used.
right. Yeah. So I've been there. I've been on that side of things. That's pretty much. I mean, well, Two Jakes didn't buy blades. We made all our own blades, but we used Alabama Damascus too, and we made our own Damascus. At Two Jake's shop, there was a big blue 155 and a coal iron 16-ton forge press.
Well, Brad's a character, isn't he?
Yeah. I met him last year at Blade Show, I want to say.
Yeah.
I've met so many dang people at Blade Show. I can't even keep them all straight anymore, honestly.
You don't know this, but I was literally dying when you met me. I was sitting in that chair. If you remember, John was feeding me Rolaids because I thought I had acid reflux. I just had a stent. I just had a stent put in my heart a week ago, less than a week ago.
So
yeah, he's not having acid reflux.
Oh, I was in bad shape and was in complete denial of it. I should have been in the emergency room. The exact moment I was talking to you, I should have been in the emergency room.
What he's saying is he's usually more receptive. I thought y'all had a good conversation, but Shane was making me nervous.
I was a little bit checked out, though. To be honest, I was getting scared, and I was in a lot of pain. So.
Yeah, but I do appreciate you taking the time
to interrupt your story.
to look at that knife.
I wanted to ask that. I hadn't thought about asking you that until you said it, and I was like, "That's exactly the person I want to ask." Them.
So when
I feel like the only reason anybody would do it is because it's easy and it's just it's very
maybe
available.
if I had started out that way, I could have worked on my refinement more and progressed faster than
it's a good way to get better. I had an advantage knowing Doug with Premium. He came to the shop one day as he lived in Georgia, just across North Carolina line, and he would come to the shop every now and then. And he came to the shop one day and just see my dad and bring him a couple of things, and I was grinding, and he watched me hollow grind a knife, and I mean it couldn't have been that great then, but I mean I was picking it up and just getting a little bit of practice, and he offered me then to grind blades for him, grind and heat treat blades. So he brought me a bunch of plasma cut blades over time. It was several thousand over the neighborhood, probably.
So a lot of people out there who have
so.
bought a knife that came from there, whether they bought it directly from there for a custom maker, or a lot of people already owned your grind.
Yeah.
Your knife, in my
So
opinion.
Jake,
so
in
like,
you like thrown into that when
in like
2012,
2013, 2014, in that era, Premium was getting pretty big, and he was doing really good. Doug was doing really good, and he wanted to bring in United States blades, because all the blades from Premium were all China or Pakistan, or and there was a lot of nice blades in there, Japan, Taiwan, anywhere you could get them manufactured, but that's what Premium Knife Supply was a one-stop knife kit. Build your own thing. You know, these blades were a lot of the blades that he was selling were like this. They looked like they were chrome dipped. You know, they were so high polished. You know what I'm talking about. Um, and but he wanted to bring an American line. So myself and there was a couple other makers that were doing this. I was getting the most blades, but he paid for the belts and he paid for. Um, I had to drill the pinholes, just two or three pinholes in each one, and then he would bring me a whole bunch of blades and they like grind them. Some of them were flat ground, some of them were hollow ground. Most of them were hollow ground. 99% of it was O1 tool steel. And so I got good at heat treating O1 and learned I hated O1. I'd done it thousands of times through the same kiln
Just the
that I'm using
repetition of
now.
it made it not
Yeah.
any.
Well, I just haven't seen like the bad end of it. Like I would ruin a blade or two in the beginning, getting better. It not only taught me grinding and everything, it taught me heat treating too, because I had done a good bit heat treating before, but this was, I mean, fill the kiln up and send them as soon as it's cooled down below about 1,000 degrees, fill it up again, send them for a long time.
So you in a small facility were doing what you would consider high yield for what you could produce out of that spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
were
about the
gonna
same
push
size
that.
shop that I'm doing it in now. And with the same kiln, with the same my same little even heat set pro 13-inch kiln.
So correct me, but is it 80 CRV and Nitro V that your two primary steels now?
Yeah, and I do dabble in AEBL, which I think AEBL and Nitro V either. I mean, I don't think they are all the same dang steel. 13C26, 14C28, it's all the same steel. Essentially, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I heat treat them the same way. AEBL, Nitro V, the same recipe. They're
Zachary,
to
thank
me
you so
they're
much.
equals, but I chose Nitro V because 3 years ago nobody wanted the Nitro V, not really like they do now. I just see a lot more big production companies using Nitro V, like a lot of it. And AEBL was always out of stock, so I just went with Nitro V. Hell with it.
Was
But
that a
now
big
Nitro
change for
V's out of
you?
stock.
I mean, is that a big change for someone who's been using something consistently that's worked out well for so long to change to some of these new steels that are coming out? I just wonder what's the mentality of that.
Well, I had used Nitro V when it first came out. Whenever New Jersey Steel Baron did their release on that, which was quite a long time ago, and we were just air quenching and oil quenching, and oil quenching works fine, but we're getting a lot of decarb because we didn't know a whole lot about it, and like foil packets or anti-scale coating. So I never really got good with it, and I guess I never really gave it the chance a whole lot. So we just did so much with forging. We never messed with stainless too much. We
Right.
were always using carbon steels or Damascus 2Jakes. So, and then everything that Doug was bringing me was tool steel. So, I never had the utmost experience in all the stainless. And, now I'm, a lot of blades through Nitro VA EBL. I've picked up a lot more stainless since very good. I did very few stainless with my last brand, which was Bloodline, and that I started that. You have to forgive me. I have a little bit. I don't know
No,
if I'm coming down with a cold or if I'm just
no apology
allergies or
necessary. I
what.
appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy and you do your own thing that's constant. I mean, you're always
It
live.
is constant. It never ends. It's like
But doesn't
in
it
my
help you?
sleep.
Don't you feel like, I mean, you always have such a big audience that's engaged. You have a huge audience in there. I don't think there are many people in there that are trolls that don't know about your brand.
They don't last long. They get booted by somebody.
And I'll tell you guys, I came by Jacob's table and I was able to film it, but I don't think I came by until either Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. But you guys, when I first walked by, before I even had my camera out, you had a full table with stuff under the table. You had you worked your ass off to bring knives to Blade Show, but you guys killed it at Blade Show. I mean, wouldn't you say that was extremely successful in terms of every way I would measure
it's
it?
extremely expensive just to stand behind the table there. So there's a massive overhead to cover.
There's a huge overhead.
And
a bunch of knives before you break even.
yeah, I mean, I broke even day one. I got lucky. I had a guy from Lamnia, Michael from Lamnia, come by in the first like half hour. He came looking for me on Friday morning, and he's like, "I'm gonna make an order right now." And he made a wholesale order of like 30 knives, and then he bought 2 or 3 knives, signature series, off the table, paid for them right there. And I was like, "Well, hell, there's my fees and everything, and now I got to cover hotel, which is more expensive than the table and everything included with that." So,
Well, we used to do the kitchen and bath show. We had a cabinet company for about 12 years, and it was our once a year big expense. Tens of thousands of dollars, because it was national, but our return came all year. So if you're able to recoup even a percentage of that while you're at the show, I think there are a few makers that sold out, but I don't know if they had enough product to cover their costs. But that's huge, because what you don't realize is the buzz that you create during that show that you don't get immediate return on.
that's it. Like, it's not about it really wasn't about going there and making money. I'm not new to shows. That's how we made our money, doing Two Jake stuff. My mom and dad traveled for a long time, and then it was just my dad, and then I traveled with him for a couple of years, all around the country. And then he got into some stores in Colorado, some pretty high end stores. And that's the goal, is to get somebody else kind of selling them for you, so you're not doing double work. That's my problem right now. Is I would love to do wholesale stuff, more
Really?
more Lamnia orders, because I don't have to deal with, like, every week when I'm doing drops is stressful, because I've got to do all the knives, and I've got to do all the pictures, all the media work, the emails, everything. It's all done by us, and
But
and I still have to get it all done by 8 o'clock on Friday evening, or else.
let me ask you a candid question. And I know from being with my buddy who owns the Huntsville knife store here, helping him try to meet some small makers at Blade Show that wouldn't work because of the margin. With that dealer margin, if you went wholesale, or if you had a more smooth way to sell direct, because you're at a point now where you sell direct as much as you want to sell. And I know it's more work with what you just described, but does your margin not give you a considerable larger return in the 20 to 30% range? You don't have to answer that, but I'm just curious, because I always like to buy direct from small makers, because I know they make more than if I buy it from Rocky Mountain or River's Edge.
Yeah, there's definitely a better margin. My thing is time. So I don't have any problem making 30 knives in a week. And if I can sell them all on Friday, then I'm happy. Honestly, if I have to do double the work throughout the week to do all the media work, because selling selling from yourself, self sales are nearly impossible, because if you're not doing the footwork, if you're not doing the media work, then you're not selling, period.
Well, you're putting a lot of time in on your drops. You show every knife, you do a video on every knife, and you talk about it, which is great. But what I'd like to talk to you offline is ways that you might be able to streamline some of that, where you get just as much buzz, but it's not with, and I hate to use the word AI because everybody thinks of it as a bad thing.
Well, there's no
very
defeating
specific
it.
scripts that you can put in that'll help you create posts that go with drops, where you're not being any less personal. You're just not having to spend as much of Jacob's time. And again, wholesale relationships, Shane and I have talked about that. It's great to have, a physical place where people can see, touch, and feel your knives. If it's not taking too much away from your work, because you both are in a position where you can sell what you're able to make now.
Yep.
Because the community's familiar with you.
Yep. I do pretty good. I can't complain. Um, the whole thing with the stores is, um, if I can do that and feed stores, they'll provide for me what I need to keep it running without me having to struggle with drops.
Exactly.
And that's
And that
that's
peace of
where
mind's
that's
worth
where
a
I'm
lot.
trying to get to is I would like to have several different stores that are putting in orders, timing in between each other to where it's sustaining us just like that, and everything I do after those knives is fine and dandy, because I do enjoy doing all well, some of the media work and spreading it around and showing and talking about it, um but there's a threshold there where you just can't get across,
Oh,
and I've
I
about
can
reached
only
the threshold.
imagine if
I'm,
you're working both sides of it, how taxing that would be. So I
I'm
can
working on
empathize with that.
I'm working on my first batch now, Jacob. My first order from a knife store, and it's already crossed my mind. It would be nicer if I was collecting all this money. You know, the thought of having to share it with somebody does bite a little bit, but I'm not looking at, especially this being my first wholesale order, I'm not looking at it so much as the money as I am. Almost everybody who's bought a knife from me are within this community, and this is an opportunity to get eyes on my knives
That's
from
it.
people that I don't know.
That's it. Margins don't matter.
I went
Margins,
to a
if
show.
nobody knows who you are, nobody's looking for you. Nobody's looking for your knives. You got to create the demand. So even if I take a little more of a hit doing a wholesale, I
Yeah.
mean, in truth, if I was to cut my margins razor thin and be able to wholesale every week, I'd do just fine, because
It's built in. You've got your business plan built out to where
yeah, there's a way for it to work on its own,
Have
and
you seen John's knife that he designed that I made?
I didn't show that at
I don't think
Blade.
so.
That's the fret. This is John's little
I
pocket.
did see the fret. Yeah, I did see the fret.
I had them at Blade Show, but I hadn't added this. They were more round on top when you saw it, I think.
More like a ramp now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a little knife that I always thought would be cool to have,
I
and I
like a
really like
wide
it.
blade.
they're moving pretty good so far. But I've got some of my thugs going to Northern Knives in Alaska, and I'm excited about that. But
Yeah.
the reason I brought that up is I went to a show called the Self Reliance Festival, and nobody knew who I was. Nobody. I sat down at this table. People didn't have a clue who I was. They had no reason to buy a knife from me, and I did really well. And there's nothing to replace that feeling of gratitude when your buddies buy your knives. But at the same time, that doesn't replace that feeling of these people bought my knife and didn't have a clue who I was. That is
Yeah.
a really cool feeling, man.
It is. It is.
I'll tell you a really cool feeling. And Jacob, I've told this story before, and I hope it doesn't bother you. But when I saw you, I think we'd met for the first time in person. You were at your booth, and you took the time to come around and talk. And you were busy as you could be. Your booth was covered up. But I'd asked you told you about Shane and talking to him later. And you said something to me that stuck with me, because I meet all kinds of makers. And I'll talk to you about that. Don't let me forget. If you're having any trouble getting in stores, or if you want help, let me know. But what I was going to say is, you said something to me that said, John, I could get hit by a truck tomorrow. If I don't share with somebody like Shane the problems that it's taken me 15 years to learn, I'm really not helping the knife making process or community as a whole. And I thought that was a beautiful sentiment, where I mean,
It makes no difference to me whether anybody sees anything that I do. I don't. I mean, I learned a lot of what I know from YouTube anyway. So it's not like I have some knowledge that I found in some ancient
Well, I'll
scroll.
tell you, Jay, you did help me, because up until a month ago, every knife I'd made without a contact wheel. And then when I finally made enough money to buy an attachment with a contact wheel, I remember the first time I was standing there running that spine down the contact wheel, watching you do it was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, man, this makes everything so much better.
Yeah.
Like all that chatter,
not pulling knives out of your hands, and
man, it was just So you have already influenced me.
That's good.
Well, and just your willingness to be open with it. And I know it's time is very much money, and B, it's not that it's trade secrets, but it's just like it's a great way to look at it. I think I wish more people did, because believe me, I talk to a lot of guys, and there's some in there, I'm sure you know, some you don't, that are wonderful human beings. I mean, they would tell you anything you wanted to know and help you do it. And then there are others that just aren't. And it's not necessarily who you would think it would be. You might think your more pretentious guy from their outward appearance would be the guy that's going to be less forthcoming with things to help you. And you find out just the opposite. And what it taught me is, as much as I was taught that first impressions are important, in the knife community, or when you're dealing with artists, it's not necessarily that, because they don't necessarily trust what your intentions are. At least that's the way I perceive it. Because I've met some people that I would have never thought would have been so open and just helping somebody like me understand things that really aren't my business, but it helps me be able to carry on conversations, because I'm that guy. And this will get Kyle and Shane talking a little bit, but I've never been Mr. Heat Treat. I believe in metallurgy. My uncle's a metallurgist, and I realize that, steel is continuing to get better with technology, right? And then you've got small makers that can heat treat certain ways. And then when you get bigger, you're kind of limited to what you can do because of the amount of blades. And I just find it fascinating. So I'm always looking, and I've had people like you help me, you and Miss V, very good. And then Tim and Suzanne Kell helped me. 2 pieces of information that were very lined up, and it just helped me understand, okay, I get it, because every tool is built for a different purpose. And I just find it fascinating I think it's a small, and Shane, this correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you think it's probably a small percentage of, we call it community, we're a small portion, but don't you think the small percentage are looking at the science of blade geometry and cuttability?
Yeah. Very, 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 very small.
Yeah.
I mean,
and everyone else is like, I don't care.
I didn't actually decide. Just I fell into a niche because it's what my passion was. But my passion being in high end alloys and performance heat treats and pushing a knife to the very edge. Even though I know it costs me some toughness, I'm okay with doing that because that's where my passion lies. And I tell everybody, my knives are not hard use. Do not side load my knife. You're not going to be happy. But I appreciate that there are companies out there that have a different passion, because there's different use cases. Customers want different things. Right. But I did put myself into an even smaller part of a small niche to begin with. So
it's enough, though. It's enough. You'll continue to expand with it, because it's probably not as small as you'd think. I would say a lot more.
Trolls. Shane's got another thing going for him, is he's very active on Instagram, and he's very much an American troll, which is great. And he trolls a lot of our buddies like Ben Belkin and all these other guys by name. And it's he's unfortunately or fortunately, he's determined that he's not afraid of losing some sales over his conviction. And I respect that about him. He's not out there pointing fingers or pushing buttons, but at the same time, he'll put a poignant post out that you go, that makes a lot of sense if you think about it. It does. And
fair.
It's he steps on a rake every now and then, but he usually wriggles out of it. It's funny. I tell him, he had a post about 3 or 4 months ago about a total different creator on a different platform, and somehow it came over to Instagram and Metal Complex, and he had 93. Metal Complex had 93 comments in that post, going back and forth with Shane. It's hilarious, dude.
Threatened to sick his army on me.
Oh Lord!
Just funny stuff like that, though.
It had nothing to do with knives, Jacob. It was all about eBay.
About what?
E-begging. These content
E-begging.
creators that come on and beg people to give them money or buy
Yeah.
them lunch, and it turns into where that's all the content is just
There's
give me
plenty of
money.
that.
Yeah. And I just made a post that said e-begging is gross. Stop it. And everybody knew who I was talking about, but I didn't name him. But yeah, it got a little ugly. And
But if you ever want to watch some good content, follow Shane, Edgy American Blaze, and just look at some of the posts that he throws out there and the engagement that he gets, because they are great. What's up, Matt? But one of the things I looked for the other night when we were talking about steels and toughness tests is you did a video, and I looked everywhere and couldn't find it because it was towards the end of one of your, I think, finishing videos, or maybe you were doing sheaths. I've watched so many different ones where I lurk, but you brought out your backpack of these blades that are your tester blades. And you've got a backpack with all these different blades that you had small writing where you'd done different tests at different times to test their strength, do you know what I'm talking about? Does that make any sense?
I have some laser testers.
Well, I knew you had
I do have a couple of test knives. I have this is the ADCRV2 torture test knife. This is a roughneck.
Right.
And I sent this one through a nail and a bunch of other stuff. Threw it at a wall. I got kind of stupid with it. It's kind of redundant to do, but
well, you've got some good videos where you're
it makes
actually
a cool
whacking them through nails and doing that, but that's good for people to see. The one I'm thinking about, you had a lot of like statistics written on each blade, and you were showing the difference, I think, in Nitro V and ADCR V2, and you were coming to the conclusion of why you preferred ADCR V2 as a result, from my memory, of these tests that you were showing on these blanks.
I have a blade at the shop that I've two blades at the shop that I've got some marks on, but the only ones that I have here are my laser engraver testers. This is the Nitro V test knife, the one that I did the video with.
Let me make you big for 1 second.
I ended up carrying this from when I posted that video, which was like October of 23 or something like that, and then I carried it up until Blade Show of 24, and then I swapped it out with, where'd you go?
Well, Jacob, I'll tell you the point John's trying to get to. I don't think he's put the words together right. Several of us, myself, Kyle, which Kyle does all the sharpening on my knives because I hate sharpening knives, but several of us had a question, and John was looking forward to asking you. But we were, our question was, if you have two knife steels that you primarily work with, and one of them is ADCR V2 and the other one is Nitro V, from what we know and understand about knife steel, and looking at what Larry and Thomas says, about these steels, the testing, how they're made, from everything we've researched, the Nitro V has actually tested tougher than the ADCR V2. A lot of people don't know that. So that's
I haven't had any issues with toughness.
Right.
I haven't had any.
That's what we've been talking about this over the last few weeks, and I think we've kind of started to answer some of our own questions. And that is that if, like you were saying, before people were buying Nitro V, or before, for whatever reason, you started making an ADCR V2, and you never had an issue with it. You never had a negative issue with it. Well, that makes sense as to why you still make knives in ADCR V2. You never had an issue with it.
Right.
You haven't had an issue with selling it. So it has started to make sense to us before we got a chance to ask you. But our question was, well, if Nitro V is actually a little tougher than ADCR V2, then where does the use case fall in for it? Because the Nitro V's also got a little more a lot more corrosion resistance and a little more edge retention. So
well, in Jacob's knife, there's a considerable price difference.
The best answer you could
give. Yeah, that's going to be it right there. Is your price point?
Right.
With the lower price point, I mean, obviously you're going to have to take care of it. you're gonna have to take care of it a lot.
And they're about what, 70 or is it $50 roughly apart from a
My average is 50 to 60, and then
okay.
if it's like a really big knife, I'll charge $100 more. Honestly, it has a lot to do with um the foil is it's extremely expensive, and then the
Oh, it's
belts.
stupid.
Like one walkabout in Nitro V is two 36 grit belts. That's $20,
Right.
The
and then
walkabouts
I have to
were
go through all the other belts. So bigger knives.
That's
There's
what I say I've never worked with any carbon steel,
yeah,
and, other than this.
you're missing out. So
And
well
from
then
what
I'll
I've
give you
experienced with the Pro Cut so far, like I only did my preheat tree grinds, and man, it was so fast, like
yeah
way faster than what I'm used to. So
yeah
I couldn't
yeah
really comment on that because I don't know how much easier it is to make. And also, when I'm talking about price steels, I'm buying steel by the piece, by the bar,
right
and that could be gravely
yeah
different.
I
If you're
buy
buying,
bar stock too.
oh, do you? Okay, so I didn't know
Just
if you were buying
4 foot bar
plates.
stock. No, I'm about to switch to buying sheets. I'm trying to set myself up right now for a plasma table. Um, I'm just
is that the way you would go in terms of getting them cut out? Because we talk about that, even though we don't have the ability to
so
do it.
so when I was doing Bloodline, nobody was using water jet, and almost nobody was using water jet. That was like 2015 when I started that, and I started using water jet for my some of my blades, and then I had my you saw these at Blade Show. This is the
Mhm.
Cub, but this one is stamped with BOK because that's when I started those Cubs. They've just been in a box for a long time, but um, I I was using water jet then, and it wasn't New Jersey Steel Baron doing the water jet. It was New Jersey Water Jet, totally different. It was a different company, and they were only like a couple miles apart. So I just had bought sheets and had it shipped there. But nowadays, you can't get anything back within like 3 months, if you're lucky.
I've heard
And
that.
and then I just have a hard time wanting to outsource anything from anyone. Uh,
Good for you.
To me, even though I'm still cutting them out, look, I'm still doing the CAD work and the actual work of cutting them out. I'm doing the managing and the maintenance of the
Yeah,
machine.
it don't do it by itself.
It doesn't do it by itself. It's not like I just snap my fingers and it does it without me
Right.
having to ever look at it.
And Todd Carr got a good point right here too, um, and that's something that I'm hoping to experience within the next week. Is I am a little bit excited about heat treating this Pro Cut because I don't have to spend $10
Is that the comment you're looking for?
per knife to make that little full packet.
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking forward to that.
the foil packets are expensive. Like that a roll of the foil is like
$100.
$400
Yeah, the
for
small roll I buy is 100.
yeah, for the big roll. And
Yeah.
and I go through it so fast. I gotta have the big roll, and it's expensive. And I mean, especially when you compare it to anti-scale coating, like you can get a quart of anti-scale coating and it lasts like 400 or 500 knives.
Right.
And it's only like $70 for a quart of anti-scale, but I mean, spend that out over 400 or 500 knives. So I mean, it's nothing at all.
Right.
And
But you evidently like the foil for whatever reason.
so for me, there will always be a place for ADCRV2 because there's always going to be somebody that wants to spend less. And there's also people out there that prefer the carbon steel still,
Yeah.
no matter what. And that's all right. I still carry ADCRV2 every day. So right now I'm carrying an Adventure, but this one I'm just testing the Cerakote. I wanted to like really wring out the Cerakote, but anyhow, I still love my ADCRV2, and I still think that it is the easiest sharpening steel. I think it is the fastest sharpening steel that there is. I have not found anything that just comes back to a work edge within just a couple of licks on like a porcelain rod as fast and as consistent as ADCRV2. But the biggest thing with it is it's so cheap.
And you're able to
It's
offer
just cheap. It's cheap to work with. It's a cheap process to heat treat. It's really simple. I just dip my blades in my anti-scale coating and then tap them off and throw them in the kiln. And I've just got. I mean, I'm sure you guys have
Just
probably
out of
seen my.
curiosity, I don't have a kiln, All I have is an oven. Do you see any? I mean, there's no downside to me.
You
heat treating
you
the
can
carbon
forge
steel.
you can heat treat in a forge with hell ProCut's got it all lined out on paper for the
Right.
forge heat treating.
But I don't
And
have a
it's not,
forge. My point, I have an oven. But
you can
there's
get
no
a forge
downside.
cheaper than an oven.
Right. There's no
Yeah.
downside to do it in an oven, though, right?
You can do it in an oven.
Yeah.
You can do it in an oven. Yeah. You got to have something to get it hot, which if you got a torch or something,
No, I'm talking about I have a heat treat oven.
you got a kiln then. That's a kiln.
Okay. My bad. When I think kiln, I
Shane's
always think
new.
of the old
Yeah.
propane.
That's with propane, it'd be a
That's a forge.
forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a kiln, you're good.
So how many blades are you typically treating at a time? I'm sure yours is bigger, right?
My rack is only 6, so I mean I can put 8 blades in there
And
sometimes.
that may be another thing that we didn't. You don't know that we've been talking about this for a month. Like we've been trying without having the answers to break down why, and not in a negative manner. We've just been trying to break down, why is any maker still using a carbon steel? So, we were looking forward to getting these answers, and that's another thing. Say, like, I could, but I don't put 6 stainless steel knives in there at a time because my HRC range ends up being a little too far off. The stainless is a little more picky, so I try to do, one at a time, maybe 1 or 2 blades at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. If I could do 6 at a time, people don't understand that turns into hours.
That's a whole day of prayer for you.
And so if carbon steel, if you're able to heat treat more of them at a time, then that would definitely be an advantage.
Yeah, I still heat treat 6 at a time for Nitro V. I haven't really had any issue with them, like a massive fluctuation.
With my Nitro V, I've started doing multiple blades, but like when I'm doing MagnaCut or S90V,
you can't stack them. You cannot stack them. They have to have plenty of room, and they have to really be evenly spaced. Now, carbon steel, man, you can stuff them in there. There's gonna be a fluctuation, but there's gonna be fluctuation anyway, because I mean, a lot of what you're doing is differential heat treat because you're grinding before. So there's gonna be a difference in the temper speed.
Inner edge is gonna get a lot faster.
Yeah. So there will always be a place in my shop because of price with carbon steel. I can buy a bar stock, and it's not a whole lot cheaper than, I mean, Nitro V and AEBL is cheapest stainlesses that you're gonna get. But it's not like a whole crazy amount. I mean, it's a good bit cheaper, but it's not a crazy amount. Not like MagnaCut to Nitro V. But the biggest key there is, so with grinding Nitro V, everything's after heat treat. I do all my grinding after heat treat. So we'll profile, do all the drilling, make sure everything that needs to be cut in, like file work, anything like jimping or sharpening choils, that all goes before heat treat, and then we'll do the bevels after heat treat. Well, I mean, you probably know.
How much? Let me ask you. How much easier how much easier post heat treat? How much easier is it to grind the carbon steel versus Nitro V? Because I know how easy Nitro V is to me compared to S90 or S125V.
So it has a completely different feel to it. It's got like a gummy feel to it. Whereas
I don't have all those hard carbides.
You just feel like you're grinding a rock when you're grinding stainless, And I'll get my gauge is always adventures because they're really wide, and the standard adventure is 3/16, and so to get a full flat grind on a 3/16 down to about 20 thousandths is a bunch of grinding. And
well, if you're saying
like 2 out of a 36
talking about right now, that's why I'm curious. If you're saying that's a bunch of grinding, do a piece of 65 HRC crewware.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Being the same.
No, I'm out.
That's what I've been dealing with. And
I don't want to do it.
Right.
I just, plain and simple, I just don't want to do it.
I understand. I know why.
Yeah. So we used to do a whole bunch of Farrier rasps, And I mean, just like every one that we could ever find, we would grind them into knives.
Yeah.
And they work harden and they get gummier as they get hotter. And I got to the point where, um, my old man would be like, "Hey, we need you to do me about 20 rasps for the show this weekend." And I mean, I would rather just go lick the bottom of my shoes.
It was childhood
And
trauma. It was just one of those things that you'll
I
never
just
forget.
I don't want to do it. And so that has its own feel on the belt and does its own dragging
I
on the
haven't felt
belt.
it yet. In all honesty, I haven't felt it yet. Because like
There's
you, when I did use carbon steels, I was literally grinding knives out of really, really old files that I didn't
yes, Kevin.
they weren't even tempered yet. Like I didn't anneal them or nothing. I did everything the hard way. So, that was
Kyle, you got to put
really hard.
a sock in Shane's mouth and get to these comments. Help me.
Yeah.
Todd Cars. My ADCR V2 is getting close to that 61 mark. Some of the smaller blades, like really thin hollow grinds, you probably get up there towards that 61 and a half around the edge. But I mean, for the most part, they're pretty solid 60 and a half. That's
Kevin
just
Smith
where they end
knives.
up at with my recipe. Yes, I do. I have a plan to make folders in the future. I would love to. I want to make some slip joints. I want to have a line of like one or two different models of slip joints, not because I'm like insane about slip joints, but
That's
I
what
just
Paul
think they're
Mills
real
was doing
nice.
right after that.
I really like them.
Kyle's been quiet this whole time because we haven't let him talk, but Kyle may be an even bigger super steel nerd than I am, so I don't know. Did you have anything you wanted to ask Kyle? You sat there patiently.
No, I mean, I don't want to have disagreements. I disagree on some of the properties of the steels and how they react, because I come at it from a different angle.
Right.
I come at it from a sharpening angle and how I approach and how I see steels come in after they've been used. And
Exactly. I was getting ready to talk to Jacob about y'all's relationship.
That is, we, like I said, we've been talking about this for 2 or 3 weeks, and that was mine and Kyle's thing is, because you said something very important, and it's very important to a lot of people, that you've not experienced a steel that was easier to sharpen for you than ADCR V2, whereas I don't want to speak for Kyle, but I think I'm correct here. Neither one of us care at all about that.
Yeah,
we don't care. We don't care how hard it is to sharpen. We want. Our passion lies in how long will it stay sharp before I have to touch it.
Okay,
right.
Two completely different sides of the fence.
Let me give my pitch on this and kind of my frame of thought. I want a steel to cut for as long as it's possible with that steel to maintain a good edge. Now, if you're out in the field working on something and you need to sharpen it up, right? There are a lot of steels that can sharpen up easy. 14C, Nitro V, AEBL, they're all the same. Are one of those steels. It is one of the most responsive steels to stropping and honing out there. The ability for that steel to come back is unlike any other stainless that you're going to find. And it has a decent enough edge retention to last through most tasks. People always give we need to sharpen on a rock. Now, again, this is just my opinion, so I'm not arguing with anyone's wrong or right. If I'm going out in the field to work on a hard task and I know that there's a possibility that I may be running out of edge retention, I'm just going to pack a stone, put it in my bag, and hone off of that, and not have to worry about a rock. And then at that point, I can hone off of pretty much any steel I want. And I'm going to take something like a 14C that comes back extremely fast. I'm going to use it on a knife that I know that its steel is going to be super, super tough. It's one of the toughest steels made. If I'm doing a hard task with it, and I just don't see a downside to why you would use that versus a carbon steel. Again, this is my opinion, so I'm not bad mouthing anyone or their thoughts. I think it is a much better option for the price point because unfortunately it got labeled as a cheap steel and a budget steel.
And that could be the market.
So what the steel that you're referring to is Nitro VA EBL C14C
versus basic carbons, correct?
Right. So that's why I use Nitro V. Yeah. I mean that's plain and simple. We're not disagreeing on anything here. I was just stating why I still use ADCR V2.
And that because that was my question.
Right. To me, I think I had a customer tell me this. Your Nitro V, he said, your Nitro V is a stainless carbon steel, and that's how it feels. It acts like that. It sharpens easy like that. It does the things that we want it to do, except it's stainless. And that's really the basis of why I only choose to use Nitro V and AEBL. But again, I still think ADCR V2 sharpens easier. I know that the other ones sharpen extremely easy. I love how they sharpen. But the thing here is the price.
I think you said it. You answered it best with two answers you've given. Three. One being you are a knife company who is using a product that you've never had an issue with.
Right.
That carries a ton of weight.
And great customer satisfaction.
Within running a business. Two, you feel like it's the easiest steel you've ever sharpened. That's super important. So that's two good answers. And three, where you are right, and something that Kyle and I and a lot of people in this community tend to forget is that, we were just talking about what a small percentage of knife owners that we actually are.
Right.
We're probably a smaller percentage of the knife owners and users than that percentage of people who still want a carbon steel. In all honesty, we don't know those people that much because we're in our own echo chamber and we're very happy with what we've got and what we love.
Absolutely.
But I've never given a thought to, well, what about all those people that want a carbon steel? That has never crossed my mind.
Shane, so let me rephrase this and kind of come at I wasn't, Jacob. I respect your company and what you do, and I wasn't.
I take no offense, no disrespect.
I wasn't going that way. Right. I'm going at it from strictly a performance based aspect, not taking into consideration what you've worked with in the past, what's worked, and what people. And here's the thing: it doesn't matter what I think; it matters what your customers want. If they want ADCRV, that's great. But for me, to me, ADCRV2 is obsolete compared to all those other steels we mentioned, ADC or 14C, Nitro V, etc.
Well, it's only obsolete when you disregard price,
and people don't want to buy it.
We did mention that when Kyle and I both brought up it's got to come down at some point to price.
Yeah,
and I think John was John got a little defensive with us on that, but there's nothing wrong with considering price. Especially when you're talking about a company. I think
I kind of agree though because
we had honestly told him, hey, I don't even know if we want to ask these questions, even though we really wanted to ask you, because we did not want to feel like we were attacking your choice in steel or anything.
Right. Like that. It wasn't ambush or anything like that. And that's why I was kind of hesitant to even say anything tonight. But I'm
glad we did, because I heard three answers that I know of that I had not considered at all.
But Jacob, I might not be like your every purchaser. I would much rather have something for $30, $40 more in a better steel than I would in basic steel.
I agree.
So to me,
you've also bought design-based knives for a very good price, right?
Yeah.
We all have.
That's Zachary's knife. That's Zachary's design.
I want to talk about this with Jacob. Not to just totally change the subject, but how did you and Zachary come together to make this beautiful knife?
So Zach just started by following the channel and we started talking And then next thing I know, he sent me a big old box of knives and had like 6 or 7 knives in it from different companies and different makers. And it only came after a discussion that I had on a live stream with I want to say it was Tim and Jake, um, just a tip live stream. Um, um, and I talked about how I really just don't um, have much of a collection. Like I'm not too massive of a knife person in terms of like what I collect and what I do. I spend more time touching knives than most people on planet Earth,
Right.
and
It has
and
killed
that's
my
where my
too.
it well, I mean, it's not even about the desire anymore. It's just like I don't even see anything else. I'm so wrapped in just what I'm doing that I'd forget that there's other, there's a world outside the world I'm in.
Hey, but
And
that's a perfect way to be in a business that's growing.
yeah. And I've been in that mindset for so long because I mean, well, that's just the way we've been, just hell bent on making it and doing all right, and but doing it the way we want to dang do it.
I'm
And
much more interested now in what can I make versus what can I buy or what is somebody else making. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
hard to. I used to keep up with all. I have no idea what all these new folders
you
coming
ain't
out.
got time.
Just
Ain't
don't
got
have
time. You can't look at it while your head's in the grinder. And when
absolutely
your
right.
head's in the grinder all the time, I'm not seeing anything else. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
live
what
through
I
all
like.
these other guys and the knives they buy now because if you ask me what the big ticket item is this week or this month, I have no idea, man.
And Jacob, I don't want to keep you long,
I
but
don't.
you've got
All I
such
know is like what Scab's got.
Yeah, no, I
That's
still
about
watch
it.
pretty
he's got a
regular.
lot of what's it called? Work tough.
Yeah, I got a good bit of work tough stuff now. I just got one that Zach just sent me, and where'd you go? He sent me a few from work tough. He sent me
Scab's an awesome human being. I've sent him up with a
he
lot of
is.
people that I work with just because he'll actually go out and beat the hell out of the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
But Jacob, for as young as you are as a company, did you have all your designs? Because you've got so many purpose design knives for almost every trade, or did that just come from adding on?
it's mainly just the electrical work. I've known so many people that do electrical work, like lineman work. It's just a thing here, I guess. But Georgia Power's huge, and the Southern Union linemen, the electrical workers, is huge, and out of Georgia is a massive hub. So I've just known a lot of people in the electrical industry, and have developed knives to suit them because they come to me asking for them over time. But
That's
I
great.
had a buddy that I used to ride motorcycles with a bunch, and he's a lineman, still a lineman. His name's Victor. You might have heard me talk about Victor, but Victor helped me develop the lineman XL, and the splicer, um, based off of um, other knives that he's had custom made for him. Victor's a big time knife dude. He's got like 30 or 35 very good knife company knives. He's got a serious problem.
Hey, let me
But
tell you something. My buddy, thank goodness, my buddy A to Z has got a very serious problem. He's on your newsletter. So when I send him your drops, he's like, dude, I'm all over it. And I always kind
yeah,
of lead him like,
he's
what are you
there
into?
quite a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
the sliciest is this Falcon that I've discovered so far of his.
I wonder. This is hollow grind though.
Yeah.
But Zachary, you do get credit for the design. It is a beautiful knife.
Yeah, Zach. So Zach sent me a bunch of
John is all the
knives.
time telling me this is all me. This is all me. No, it's not. I never would have made this had John not designed it. So some credit has to go to you for that.
Yeah, he sent
That's
me
kind of
that
something I'm trying to delve into, Jacob. That's a little different.
a little
There's
bit
a
of
lot of people.
collaboration.
There's a lot of people in this community that have some great ideas.
Right.
And I think it's cool that both of us have took somebody
Yeah.
just that we know from inside the community that's very
Right.
passionate about knives. And,
People don't people don't realize it, but a lot of my customers dictate what kind of comes out on runs. Some, if I have a bunch of people asking for a certain type of material, well, then we're going to do a run in that material. And, if I have to order, sometimes I'll order things for some people, if they want something specific that I may not have, instead of, just ordering a set of scales, which I pretty much never do unless that's the only thing available. I like to just order a sheet, because to me, if this one person's asking for it, then somebody else might want it. So, in order to pay for that sheet, um, you know, there's, I'll just do a run in that. I'll just pay for the sheet, and it made it worth ordering. So, um, a lot of people out there dictate what comes out of me.
Right. And I think Tim's got a lot of the same, he's got a lot of his knives that have come from what people have wanted.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is a gorgeous knife. Jeff
Zach
taught
just
it
sent me
right
a
away.
drawing of that knife, and he had sent me so many dang knives, but he sent me a drawing of that knife, and he's like, it's got revelation handle, and
Your choil
it
is
looked
to die
pretty
for.
much just like that. I think I still got the drawing. I think it's sitting right here in front of me. Let me look.
Your choil is done.
I feel like it's very in line with what you already do as well. Like he didn't present you as
Right.
something outside your wheelhouse.
Look at that choil.
Right.
Yeah.
How it splits.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I take into consideration when actually like accepting to do a design. Like if it's something that I'm not normally doing, because for me, I have to look at it as in a perspective. Here's that drawing that he sent me of that.
Looks just like it.
Yeah. But to me, if it's something completely ridiculous that I'm gonna have to, I have to look at it in a way of Kydex molds, because I don't want to sit there and do an individual fit sheath for each and every single knife.
I
It's a
found that
pain-
fascinating that you
It's a pain
use.
in the neck. So I like to generalize and make a sheath that fits. For the most part, all my molds will fit every knife that goes in them, even if it needs just a little micro adjustment. But that's the point. Is I'm already making a bunch of these the exact same way. There's no reason for me to do things the one at a time way. I have to think about that. So if it's something that I'm having to spend a massive amount of time on each one, getting them all precise and right because they have some ridiculous profile or something, then I'm out. But for the most part, everybody
I'm
that
still in that one at a time stage. Like no two of my knives are exactly the same, and it is very time consuming.
It's extremely time consuming.
It's almost to the point that at some point, if I don't change, it's hard to make money because
you'll evolve into
right.
it.
Yeah,
right.
And I know that's that needs to happen in the future, but
yeah,
Jacob might have come to it a little quicker because he had so much experience, but I'm sure he
right.
he went through
Because it sounds like you kind of started out doing batch work, not one at a time customs.
Well, we did start out doing one at a time. We started out doing one at a time customs, and that so every
a lot of time in batch work too.
Oh yeah, I did a ton of time in batch work.
Right.
And that's doing them side by side. I learned that that's where I like to be, because I can do intricate custom stuff. I mean, I've got where you at? Danny? Come here. This kind of work, I made this sheath.
That's beautiful.
A massive background in leather too, because we did all our leather work, and but this is my house made Damascus. It's got walrus cheekbone, mammoth ivory, and a choyo cactus with crushed turquoise inlay.
I'm gonna make you big for 1 sec. That's beautiful.
There you go. Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff that we did, and the whole thing with two Jakes was no two alike. So the serial number on this one is 4867. We the number was somewhere over 6,000 when I right before I walked out. So and there were not two alike anywhere in that 6,000.
And they all touched your hands.
For the most part, there was a lot in there that my dad did, but 90% of the blades in there, I did the blades at least. and that was my job at Two Jakes, was doing
And you
blade
had a
work.
different mission when you wanted to start Very Good Knife Company in terms of what you wanted to offer and what markets you wanted to
Right.
go after,
So
which I find very cool.
with me being in the custom side of things and working with somebody that was in the production side of things, it was hard for me to not see, the volume that he's putting out, like Doug, the volume and the amount of sales and the amount of people that have blades in hand. That was more important. Like, you're spreading your brand everywhere constantly, and then that creates its own demand. If the product is quality, then it'll do it for itself. And I like doing the custom work, but um, I, I get more joy out of it when people are using my knives. I want to see linemen sending me knives to get refurbished, and they look like absolute trash. I mean, they look like they left them in a ditch in Louisiana during storm duty. Maybe they did, but it made it through with them the whole time, and the knife looks like absolute shit at the end of the tour. But they send it to me, I clean it up, and they're just as happy as can be, and the knife keeps on rolling.
And you're keeping
That's where
clean
I
service.
find joy in it, is not necessarily, and I understand the don't hard use my knives, Shane. I really truly do. And it's
Well, I
it's
don't.
not it's not
I tell
comparable.
people that I don't hard use knives, and that's part of the reasons why I don't. It's not that I can't. I've got a hard use knife in my lineup.
Right.
It just don't
Right,
sell.
but you just make what you want to use, though.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I do hard use knives. I abuse them. I'm very aggressive with them, and I bend them and
Well,
pry them. And
I'm glad that you offer a different, because this conversation came up. The thought originally came up in my head was like when I look at like Tops, why Tops is still using 1095, and I love some of their designs, but I won't buy them. Now, if
Right.
they had the exact same knife in Nitro V, I would.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if your moniker is, hey, I make really tough hard use knives, then give it to me in a really tough hard use steel. I don't understand
Right.
why they don't,
Yeah.
and I'm proud that
Yes. Yeah. I feel like 1095 is obsolete to ADCR V2, and I do agree that, like, in terms of like what I would rather spend on like a budget steel, I still feel like Nitro V is better. I mean, I know it's better. It's a better steel.
there are people
There's
saying right now that Pops Pro Cut is going to make all the other carbon steels obsolete. Nobody knows that yet, and that
maybe it will.
Have you messed with any, Jacob?
the case. And as long as the price stays affordable, but one thing I've been struggling with, like I've bought some Pro Cut. I'm going to make some knives in it, but then when I look at the individual knife blank, let's say if it's whether it's one of my thugs, or let's say I did a Pro Cut fret, and I look at the price difference between the two pieces of steel, I'm thinking, well, does this mean that a Pro Cut model is only going to be $20 cheaper because the cost was only $20 cheaper? Then I think, well, okay, it's actually $30 because I'd have to make a foil packet. I'm not familiar yet with how much longer my belts are going to last, but let's say it comes out to $50. It's $50 cheaper to make it. Is it worth it? Is it worth with them being that close in price? I don't know yet. Like that's something that I'm about to find out within the next couple of weeks, is how much cheaper can I make it and sell it, because I don't know yet.
Right. That's the key there. For a manufacturer, that's key. Money is number one. I mean, we need to know if is it even
At
worth.
least you got to make enough money to buy more material.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter what happens if I can't sell it. If it's not even justifying itself, then no, I'm not doing it. So I did a knife out of Pro Cut, sent it. I sent it off to testing, and all I cared about was, is it different? I don't care what it does. I just want to know, can the end user tell a difference? That's all I care about, because there's going to be a difference in price. There's a difference in price between that and ADCRV2.
If you sent that knife to me and told me and didn't tell me if it was Pro Cut or ADCRV2, just because of my usages and my habits, I probably wouldn't know.
That's it. See that, and that's what I had planned to do was do
now
like
if I sent it to somebody to do strictly an edge retention test and they filmed it and showed, like the test that I saw where it definitely outperforms any other carbon steel I've ever seen by a wide margin. Now, that's a factual case too. That's a real thing too. But I'm just saying that I think where you're coming from is the majority of knife buyers and users, much like myself, wouldn't know the difference.
right, and that's why 1095 still exists and it still sells and people still buy it. Period. End of story.
Right.
That's just it. Nobody really cares. And there's a massive, large piece of the knife community. People that aren't even part of the knife community that just buy knives, that just reach for whichever's
And
cheapest.
they might hiccup over a new steel, like a 14C that to them was new. Did you
Right.
see Terry's IG? He sent
Right,
you
that's
a
all
IG
old
message?
news. I mean, it's all way old and outdated. But at the same time, by logic or by paper and all these tests, all the science, Nitro VA, UVL, all the 14C based stuff shouldn't be any better than what's coming out next. That's if you go by paper, then we shouldn't have anything but the one thing on the top of the list of paper. But that's not how everybody sees things.
That's right. That's not how the market reacts to it.
It
And the
just doesn't.
supply's
It
not
doesn't
there.
matter.
Like I'm excited about this Nitro X7. However, again, in my personal life and my knife usage, if you lied to me and sold me some Nitro V and told me it was Nitro X7, I don't know that I would ever know.
That's it.
I'm sure I have a customer that would buy it and be like, "Hey, man, I don't think this is any better," because I do have customers that use my stuff. But and I probably fall into the larger percentage of people that wouldn't know. Now, Kyle would know. Kyle would know because he's felt everything on Diamond. He knows it. He knows what they feel like. Kyle can tell me, when he's like, "Hey, Bubba, I think this edge is a little stressed." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I had to sharpen it twice. The first edge didn't." He knows more about my heat treats than I do. In all honesty, all I know is a number when I get them punched.
Right.
But end user, he has a completely different experience without having to use the knife. Because
Zachary, I agree with you 100%. I buy based on what I like and what they use.
Yeah, I buy knives sometimes. Like they make fun of me for buying this at Blade Show. I bought this Freeman. I don't know if you know about Freeman knives, but I bought this Freeman fixed blade.
It's hard to tell.
I was
what
like,
they
"Man,
use
you
for
make fixed blades.
steel.
Why'd you buy that?" And I picked it up, and I felt something. I don't know what. I think my testosterone went up a little bit, but I felt a little tougher. So I paid the price for it. And I think that's probably what most of us do, whether we'll admit it or not. We buy things for the.
We're emotionally attached to the look and what, and I don't want to keep Jason.
And I do love buying stuff.
You're good. I'm good.
But dude, when I first tried this knife out, I don't ever call makers and say what a great job, but the way that this grind, and you can't, my lights don't do it justice, but it's just gorgeous. And the full size is gorgeous.
Can you send me that sometime? Is that belong to you?
No, it's A to Z, but he'll send it to you.
Okay.
He'll send it to you.
I'd like to check it out too. Because I've seen a lot of Jacob's work, but I haven't.
I like the Tradition Junior. That big deep hollow grind does look pretty cool.
Oh, it does. And the Tradition Senior.
I carry one in my pocket.
The Senior's thicker besides longer, right? It's got thicker blade stock.
Yeah, it's some 5/32 blade stock. Yep.
And
they're ground about the same. One's just bigger.
And you've got it's not a jig. You've got some kind of tool that affixes to your grinder that helps you hold them straight. Or what does that little tool do? That little metal base tool that you hook up your knives to
for the sharpening.
Maybe it is a sharpening. Maybe that's what it is.
It's the only jig that I use for as far as like
everything else is hand.
It's all hand done. But I have a sharpening rig that I built it's extremely simple. It's based off of the Tormach system, which we had two Jakes. We had two of them. We had a T4 and then the T8, the big one with the big giant $500 diamond wheel. That thing will get them scary sharp. I found that I always liked the way that the belt edge worked a little better. Um, I felt like the edge felt to me like it lasted longer without needing to be reprofiled, if that makes any sense.
It does.
But the sharpness between like a belt edge and like the Tormach is it's almost incomparable because the sliciness that you get with the Tormach is unreal. But I just always preferred the belt edge. So I used the Tormach kind of rail system and attached it to my grinder. I just built my own, a bigger version of that, and the clamp
I don't
is
sharpen
is
my
pretty
own,
the
Jacob,
same.
because I have nerve damage in my hands, and when I get down that thin, I get a little scared, to be honest.
Yeah, because
And
it can happen real fast.
right, I have Kyle sharpen my knives for two reasons, three reasons. One, because he's my brother and I love him. Two is because I don't I as picky as I am about heat treat, even though most people aren't that picky about it. I don't the thoughts of running a heat treat because of my inability to sharpen on a belt. I don't want anything to do with that, so I don't sharpen on a belt. But like I said, that's just because of me. And three, I have experienced my edges versus his. I know the the huge difference, and I know when people buy a knife from me, they're not going to get. I'm not at a point yet where they're getting the absolute best refinement that money can buy. So at the very least, I want them to take it out of their package and cut something with it and think, "Damn, this is one of the sharpest knives I've ever touched."
Yes, see,
So
that's
if
That's
that
your
means
value
letting
prop.
somebody else do it, and I'm only telling you that because I've had people kind of make fun of me, like, "What do you mean you make knives and you don't even sharpen?" I can sharpen a knife. The point is, I want that to at least be part of their experience. Is that this some bitch was laser sharp, so that's why I have him do them.
right. Yeah, I've had a lot of comments and a lot of reviews and videos and people just blown away with the sharpness and to me right off the bat it was kind of surprising like why nobody else was sending them this sharp because having done so many shows we did so many shows and people pick them up and they touch them and they feel them. The first thing they do is always test the edge,
Well, Jake,
always.
I absolutely love the Spartan Harsey folder. I don't know anybody that's ever bought one that was sharp. Like
Kyle, were you the one
we
telling
just give
me?
them we give Spartan a pass, I guess. Like we know it's not going to come with an edge, and I
Right.
guess it's okay. But I don't want to be. I'm not at a place where people are going to forgive me for selling them a dull knife.
Yeah, see,
Somebody,
I want people to pull it out of the box and cut themselves on it.
Right.
Not that I want to see you bleed. Not I. It's not about that. It's about there's no complaints when you cut yourself.
no,
There's
and
none when you pull out a knife and you're like, oh, this thing ain't for. Ooh, ooh, I cut
you
myself.
own it. Then
It
it's
all
become part of
stopped
you.
right there. It's
And your
sharp.
flats are
You
just
know?
as slicey as your hollows. I mean, you get them so thin.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the mantis. Is that a slicey little guy?
It's a slicey little guy. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it looks
it's
like it.
1/8 inch, and I grind them down to
The,
like
the,
12 to
the two
14
sizes,
thousandths.
although I love the mosquito, and I want to ask you before you go what your what that purpose was, but the one that I really like is your one that's the same size as the mantis. I think it's the wasp. Really
Mhm.
close.
Yep.
Those are two cool knives. But when you designed the mosquito, which is a cool little knife, was that something whimsical or did you have a plan for it?
Well, I had like a whole bunch of little scrap pieces of end cuts of steel that were like 4.5 inches. They were too short for everything else, and I was like, I got to figure out something to do with these, And I've
You know
made
what, man? That's
some.
usually where you come up with your best ideas.
Look at
Right,
this
yeah.
little
Or like
guy.
a knife
It
that you
always
ruined,
comes by.
that you
Yeah,
ruin. You're like, man, I've got to shorten this by an inch because I made a mistake, and then you end
Look
up.
at
right.
that little hollow grind
Yeah.
chode.
Yeah.
So I had a whole bunch of end cuts that were that size.
Yeah.
I had like 25 of them in a bucket.
I like
And
that little knife, man.
It's
and I
cute.
was like, I got to do something with them. I can't. Something inside me just
But to
burns me
me,
alive.
it's a finished kiridashi.
Pretty much, yeah. It's
People
pretty
making
much
kiridashi, it's kind
the
of
kind
lazy.
of angles that I was going
Yeah,
for.
but
On the
typically when
edge.
people make them, it's kind of lazy because, well, it's just a kiridashi, so this is all I have to do. But that's a more finished kiridashi in my opinion.
It is.
Guys, I've got to make a
That's
phone
about
call.
exactly what
Jacob,
it
it was
is.
awesome picking your brain, dude. I really appreciate it. But I've got to.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Zachary, I
Y'all keep
love
on.
it.
I will be in the chat.
A to Z's got the same clip I'd put on it, a deep carry concealment clip, and I would carry this in my back pocket. That's where I carry all my. But dude, you've been awesome to come on. I hope it's been. I hope a lot of people. Most people knew about you when I told them you were coming on. I think that's why we had a good crowd. But you're just so forthcoming, and what you do, I think, making knives that people can afford, that are high quality in terms of what you're doing to them, is just wunderbar. I think that's great. And if you get a plasma machine and do more and more, I think your growth is only measured by what your interest is.
Well, if you burn out, then you're never going to continue with it. You know, I've burned out a million times, but it's not necessarily a burnout on the making the knives. It's a burnout. I'm tired of working. I want to go to the beach or
Right.
something. I just want to get out of Georgia for a minute. You know.
Could you make knives at the beach? Once you got set up, I know it'd be.
If I had my equipment.
Yeah. Well, there's just something.
I never get any
when you
relaxing
get off.
done. You know, I always ask. I've been asked several times in the past, probably 3 or 4 months. It's just been pushed on to me, and it's made me ponder. Maybe that's why it's been pushed on me by the universe or something. But it's made
Well,
me
you're a young
ponder
guy. I mean,
on whether or not I really do truly love what I'm doing, you know, because I've had a lot of ups and downs with it, and I've had a lot of times, you know, there was a time that I thought I don't ever want to make another knife again. I don't care if I ever do, and that was right before making Very Good Knife Company knives. You know, I was just done, and it was more or less just done with the way that things were being done then.
because you didn't
I
have the
needed to be
control.
I needed to be free and to do my own thing. And I obsess over everything so much. Maybe obsess isn't the right word. Maybe it is.
You're a
But
perfectionist.
I am a perfectionist, and to my own detriment to a degree. But um, I I really can't pull my head out of it when I'm in it, and that's enough. I enjoy it. Excuse me.
God bless you.
Yeah, I really do enjoy it, and I say if you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life. And somehow every day I am dragging, and I never quit, and I never give up, but I still just can't get enough of it. And I'm always really happy when I end up with something new that comes together exactly the way that I wanted it to. You know, like my new model, the Heritage.
That's a beautiful little knife.
It
What is it, about
is.
8 1/4 or 8 1/2?
It's right dead on 8 inches.
8 inches.
Yep, right dead on 8 inches. And then the Counter Strike too, that one, it just came together
That's a
so
wicked looking
nicely.
knife. I saw it on the drop.
It is so nice. And when something together, or when something comes together like this, um it's just a good boost of self-confidence, I guess. That and I was kind of having this conversation with somebody in a live stream chat today. At some point you just got to believe in yourself and just go all in with it, or just go all out, just get out of it, you know,
Well,
because
you've got a skill, dude, and I'd hate to see you get burned out. And that's what I always tell Shane. Please don't burn yourself out. Zachary, I appreciate you, buddy, and your design and what you have to contribute. I'm sure is just getting started. But
no
you're such a
no
young
worries of
company.
burnout. I've got things to accomplish, and I cannot bring myself to quit until I've accomplished them. So
Well, you know that there are a lot of people in the community that are believers. You've got a huge fan base, and my channel's just a regular little channel, but I will and Jeff will keep buying from you. I will always sing your praises because I'm a big fan of what you do. I
Appreciate
think
it.
you
I
have a
appreciate it.
great mission statement. I think your story is admirable, and I like you guys. I mean, I enjoyed meeting you, and I know it was just like business. You couldn't even enjoy yourself smoking a cigar because you had people just
Man,
covering you up. But that's a good thing. That's
it
kind
is
of
a
like
good
people
thing.
appreciate what you do. They single you out, and that'll come back to be a benefit where you can just hang in your hotel room and people will still be buying at the same pace.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I'm such an introvert. I'm a massive introvert, and Blade Show is it's a nightmare.
Well,
It is
you
a
don't show,
nightmare.
it doesn't show, and I know that feeling because I'm very insecure in my skin, but when you're in front of a crowd, you do exactly what you should do for the company, and you two work as a great team. I mean, I think it's, y'all play off each other well, and y'all just were an orchestra back there, and you had a table full of people. I
We
mean,
were
you think
packed
about
the
how
whole
many
time.
people
We
walked
were.
away without knives who know exactly who you are.
Yep. It was a smashing success for sure. I was very happy with how it turned out.
Stupid question before I let you go. Do you guys ever look into your like web traffic, your Google Analytics and stuff like that and see where it comes from? I know it's
Yeah, so we currently have Wix for a website, and that's about to change because they just screwed us on a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna go to Shopify. But anyhow, Wix has its own analytics thing, and it's extremely detailed. And it can be even more detailed if I fork out a couple more bills.
well,
Not that.
don't fork out bills because what I was
Yes,
going to say is,
that's why I don't, because it's not necessary. There's ways around it, but
My
from what I see,
background my
is
background is that, and there are a few people that I offer a free service just if they ever want me to give them what I consider real-time feedback on what it means. I'm always happy to do it. So anytime you need help with
absolutely.
anything from your
We'll
Google
definitely
My
talk.
Business to your online presence, I know it's hard with knives, but with social media and how to automate, all you have to do is reach out. It won't cost you a penny, and I'll share everything I know.
Yeah, man, we'll talk for sure. Because it's a different business. That's a whole different business on its own. I mean,
And
it's
it'll suck some of the joy out of what you love to
oh,
do. Like
it'll
I
suck all
love
of the joy out of it.
it will.
It absolutely will. That's where I get burned out on. Is I get burned out on the media and everything else. And that's another reason why I just would rather wholesale. I would love to have some wholesalers so then I don't have to do as many drops every week to make it. I would just be able to do one or two big drops a month, and then the rest of the time I just spent feeding the stores, and they can do their drops.
Well, one day, if you've ever got time, shoot me an email or give me a call about what your kind of go to market plan is. And because I know a brick and mortar that's a fantastic store that I had a very good relationship with. Plus, I know a lot of other entities around the country that I'd be happy to help you with that. Again, looking for nothing in return except getting you what you want because I think you deserve it. What's up, Sean? But I appreciate you, dude. I
What's up,
don't
Sean
want you to stay too
Zanino?
late.
Sean Zanino's a big time VGKC supporter.
Hey, I'm telling you, I can
He's a
see
big
why.
timer. He's one of my top guys for sure. He's got some bangers. It's
That's
funny because all
awesome.
my top collectors all have something that the others do not have. Um, they've all got something that nobody else has got. Everybody's got their own kind of thing.
That's what makes it cool. And they probably all know each other and they probably taunt each other to trade amongst
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
That's awesome though. But that's what you need. And that comes organically. I mean, people that love your stuff and collect your stuff do it because you're making something that's worthy of being collected. And this guy, A to Z, who is such a picky guy, one of the hardest guys, I got him into knives. He's my best local friend. And I'd be hesitant to sell him a knife, even after he looked at it. I mean, he's just that picky, and
Just pick it apart.
every time he gets one of your knives, he'll show it to me, send me a video, and I'm like, "How soon can I get it?" He'll say, "I'll bring it to work tomorrow if you bring it back." So I get it for like 8 hours, and he wants it back.
That's how
He's
I
not
am. I'm
carrying
so
them.
picky. I'm
What's
I'm
that?
very picky with my knives. Even though all these knives that Zach has sent me, I love each and every one of them. And not to take anything away from them, but like I'll pull one out, and I'm just like, no, I wouldn't have done that, or I don't know why they did this, or but it doesn't take away from it, because it's not mine, it's theirs. And if
Right.
it had been done the other way, then it'd just be boring. So
And as you look at it, you're
no.
seeing, reiterating why you do what you do, and you may at times say, well, maybe that's something I would try sometime. You never know how
Oh
it's going to
yeah,
affect
yeah.
you.
There's always inspiration to be found where you seek it. That's for sure.
Very,
Always
very cool.
inspiration.
Zachary, they are two of, and we have a lot of conversations about them, but they are two of my favorite people. I've always been
Same.
great friends with Suzanne and with Tim. I met Suzanne first, and she's
don't-
just a firecracker.
I don't know them all that well, but they're really nice people.
I know they're
nice
close
people.
to me. I think they're close. I'm not going to dox them, but close to Georgia, Tennessee, which
Yeah,
I'm about.
they're real close to me. They're just a couple hours away.
So I'm like 45 minutes south of Chattanooga. I'm in like the north central part of Alabama. So it doesn't take me long to get to Chattanooga or to get to
You're
Georgia.
not that far either, then.
No, I'm not. I'm pretty close. I mean, I'm in Huntsville.
You're not that far.
No. So and they've been
Slide up and visit the
show
shop one day,
here.
do video.
Dude, anytime you want it, I would love to. The last time I did Knives and More, which is a little knife store here, which is a really cool store. I mean, he's been in business since the late 80s, and he does so much vintage case estate sales that keeps it in business. But he also carries Microtech, Benchmade, Spyderco. But anyway, I did a video just walking through his store 2 weeks ago, and it's at like 56,000 views. I've never had a video go over 20. I can't believe people like it. I mean, they're like, wow, what a cool store. And it's just the basic stuff. So I'd love to do more location stuff. I'm always up to travel with an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't get to travel much, but I hope to one day.
Well, you will.
Get out
Buddy.
and
Let me tell
drive
you
around.
something. You keep doing what you're doing for a few years, and you'll get it worked out to where it'll do itself,
yeah,
and
we'll
you'll
be
have
all
plenty
right.
of time.
We'll be all right. I have faith. I have a lot of faith that I don't know. I just have a lot of self-belief, and I feel like that we have to find something that we're here for. Maybe this is it. 'Cause I don't know what else it would be.
Well, you're a very forthcoming teacher. I think that's something that could be on your future. If you got tired of making knives, I mean, you have a lot to offer, and you've got a ton of experience, and you make beautiful, beautiful, beautiful knives.
My goal, my end goal, I guess, where I would like to end the knife career would be teaching. That would be the cap. That would be the end, and that would be, I mean, that, like you were saying earlier, none of it matters if I never teach any of it. None of it matters. Yes, there's people that benefited and got my knives, but that doesn't continue. The next generation is more important. Always.
And to make an impact on a young person, and then even if you're around or not, for you to have been essential in their path to greatness or whatever they do, because something you said inspired them to keep going or to get through the hard times when they know it's going to get hard or thin.
Well, every one of us are here for, we may not even realize it, but every one of us are here for each other. And there's been tons of people that I've been inspired by it, that without them, I may not have had the same level of inspiration that got me through something really difficult.
Yeah.
So the way that you present yourself, the way that you choose to integrate yourself, or maybe that's not the word, the way that you choose to treat other people, it's above your understanding. Each and every one of us, it really is. And it's important that, I feel like it's important that we all teach each other something.
It's part of community, dude. And I think some people are very willing and very authentic in how they do it. And I consider you one of those people, because I've had a very poignant conversation with you that you didn't have to share that was about that. And I think some people are more protective, and it takes all types, but the ones that are protective are the ones that are going to end up alone, and they're not going to grow, because I think anyone who considers themselves an expert has said, I refuse to learn anymore. because I know everything I need to know. And I know that's not true, but that's the way
Right.
I interpret it when someone says, "Oh, I'm an expert," you know.
Every time I feel like I got it figured out, I find new ways to do things, and I know I've never been too arrogant to admit that I am still learning. You have to, if you're not still reaching for the next little piece of information that um, if you quit reaching, you'll quit growing, and you'll just quit living. You
Well,
just got to search for something.
I think we should always, and I think we're always looking. I think if you keep the love for what you're doing, I'll promise you a couple of things before I let you go. A, I have no doubt in how successful you can be based on what you're willing to do. And I know it's tough to give other people the reins if you needed to expand at some point. But the other thing that I'm more than positive of is you're building a business, I think, the right way. I think the way that you're doing it is it's being grown by fans. I think retailers, if you'd like to be a wholesaler, that's a great goal. But
Right.
most importantly, I want to stress that I've got a lot of years of corporate experience of doing sales and promotion, and I will help you without anything in return. Whether it's getting you in touch with companies to talk to about putting out a dealer program,
Well,
whether it's
you'll at least get knives.
what's that?
You'll at least get knives in return.
Well, I'm not. All I'm looking for is there are 3 companies. Two are American and one works. He's an American guy who works overseas companies that I just want to see do well. And if I can help, that's great, dude. And I've got more knives than I can open cat food with. I can assure you that.
One
But
more
I
can't hurt,
appreciate
though.
you, dude. No, I know. I agree with that. But I appreciate you and Mrs. Very Good. You guys have been so
Thanks for
kind to
having me.
me since
Thanks
I
for
first
having me,
met
bud.
you. You've always shared stuff that was outside of what I need to learn, but I do want to learn because I talk about knives so much. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate having me on. Thank you,
And I'll
guys.
always promote you. And these guys may send me some questions. I'm sure I missed some. And guys, if anybody has questions for Jacob, I will forward them to him via email. And he will get back with me. It might be a few days. I'm just kind of scrolling up. And Zachary, I'm glad you're in here, buddy. I love the Lone Star. And so did A to Z. He bought it right away. I was upset he didn't buy the Grip Tech, but he's a Mike Carter guy.
It's great meeting you.
You too, bud. I appreciate it.
Thanks for answering your questions. I hope you understand. We were not trying to come at it like
No, I don't feel that way. I promise.
We're all trying to learn different reasons and why. And I think we've all come to realize that our little, at least my little knife tube part of the world is so small. Because when I go into Knives and More and talk to those guys, they don't sell to people that watch YouTube videos. They might get a couple, but most of them are engineers bringing their son in, looking for a good knife to whittle, and they end up leaving with the $400 Benchmade. It's just weird, you know. It's just we're such a small part. And like the guy that was in here from Alaska earlier, I forget his name, but I think the guys that are hard using knives aren't going to YouTube video reviewers to find out what's their best choice to go dress an elk all season. I think they've got better people to give them that information. Their forefathers, their community.
Right.
But I appreciate you, buddy, and I hope you feel better. I hope we didn't keep you too long.
No, you're good. You're good. I enjoy talking.
And
thanks for having me, guys.
Just so you know, you've got an open invitation. Anytime you have news to share or you'd like to come on, whether it's for 15 minutes or for 3 hours, we'd love to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kyle, you got
anybody? And for anybody watching, I'll be putting a few knives in the store over the weekend. So,
which ones are you gonna have? Do you know?
So I've got a Wasp in Mars Valley. Nitro V Wasp in Mars Valley.
That a beautiful little hollow grind.
Yeah,
it's about 7 3/4, right?
6 3/4.
6 3/4. Yep. Okay, so it and the Mantis are 2 of the smaller ones.
Yep. Yeah. So the Mantis and the Wasp have the same handle, pretty much. That's kind of like how I like to do sets of things in that size. I like to find more than one use for a size of steel. But I've got that Wasp, and then I've got a couple of Gen 3 Ramblers with the black Cerakote. These are Nitro V, and the double green micarta. I've got a pair of these twins,
Dude, that looks so good. How are you liking the Cerakote?
I'm digging it, man. I tried powder coat for a long time, and it's really tough, but it takes a massive thickness of it to make it that tough. But the Cerakote is so thin, it's almost non-existent, and it's. I've been carrying my adventure every day since Blade Show, and it's started to wear off where it comes in and out of the sheath, and I've been real aggressive with it, but I cannot complain in the slightest. It is extremely, extremely durable, and it exceeds everything that I needed to do. So,
And when you do your drop, those go straight to the store, right?
yeah, I may or may not send out a newsletter, but usually my drops are on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But I just wasn't really prepared for it this week.
Guys, I'm going to put a link up to the newsletter, and it might not come out this year or this week. But if you follow Instagram, you always post on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, we post just about everywhere we can post media wise for the most part.
Why isn't it? Hold on a second. Let me find out. Where do I sign up?
Should be on the front page or on the footer. You can find it on the footer.
There it is.
Of the website.
And it takes me back up to the top. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
It might be the website, honestly.
It's not a big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up your Insta, because that's where I always see your I try to share them when they come up, but you'll put out each knife that you're dropping.
Yep. Yeah, we pretty much always show everything that's going to be dropping.
And guys, I'm also, and I won't keep Jacob here to do this, but I'm going to drop his YouTube channel in here because he goes live going through the processes of making these things. And this is his Instagram. And then lastly, we'll go to YouTube.
Yep.
And he does live like Shane.
Lots of live streams, lots and lots of live streams.
They're getting to be crazy, buddy.
They are. I had one the other day ago that was almost 200,000 views and gained like 260 followers in one live stream.
And you're not just gaining followers, you're gaining fans. You're gaining people that, unlike that's when great. I do a video, you're gaining people that are interested in what you're making. And I think that's huge. Right.
I just got to have enough sparks to captivate.
It's not just the sparks, dude. I'm telling you, your handle, when you did the thing on sheaths, and I realized that you have a couple of sheaths that you use for the same knife, and you go in and you heat them and you form them. To me, I found it fascinating, and I'm not a maker.
Yeah,
so I think there's something
a lot
to everybody.
I mean, if you, a lot of people call it ASMR, I guess. Watching me work.
Well, y'all go subscribe to Jacob. I'll keep putting his name out there for you guys. I'll put some links in this live when we're done, because all I think I've got scrolling now is his website. But I'll put some other socials in the description. And dude, I appreciate you.
I'll get back on with you some other time too.
Anytime you have time, all you have to do is shoot me a DM or an email, and we'll make it happen.
Good. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys on the next one.
I'll hopefully field you some questions.
Take care, bud.
See you, buddy.
You there, buddy?
I'm here.
That was pretty cool. I like Jacob.
That was nice. It was good to have him on.
It was good to have him on. He and Shane seemed to have a lot to chat about. Hey, Mrs. VG, thank you for setting that up. I appreciate it. He's such a joy to talk to. Night, girl. Have a great night. And I know y'all have an early morning tomorrow. I appreciate, or hopefully not too early, but I appreciate you staying up with us. But yeah, I've got to take these knives back to Jeff tomorrow, and I kind of dread it. Because this one's a little bigger. I think the Mantis, even though it's flat ground at 6 3/4, would be awesome. But this is a sexy knife, Kyle.
That's cool. Who makes that one?
That's a very good knife company. It's
okay.
It's Nitro V. It's one of his signature series where he pumps up the handles.
Cool.
But the great thing is, I mean, they literally range from 150, or you can get a really bougied out one for, $75 more. Thank you, Grinch. Yeah, how close are we to getting Stevie time? I think we got a little while, don't we?
Yeah, we got
I got an email back.
half an hour from
I wanted to talk afterwards.
Okay. So I haven't got anything back, even response on IG or anything.
I got Diane replied, and she didn't give me much, but it was just thank you for continuing to, help us out. Because I didn't read you the email, but I talked about stop by one of my Friday night live streams, and you'll see that Klingenwek Sharpening and I are constantly, pushing TS Prof. I didn't tell her that we were going to take it away, but she was like, "Thank you so much." I just get the feeling that they're going through some issues.
Yeah,
Political issues.
they didn't respond at all to email and or Instagram, so I'm not sure what the heck's going on.
And I'll read you the email because it's about both of us. Paul, they're selling great. I'm about to get the first one that I'm going to do a video on because I haven't done anything but shorts. It's the one that Ryan Ellis bought. It should be here tomorrow, and then I'm going to hopefully ship it on to him by Monday. I want to do some content on it. But we have 3 that are, I think, cut out and enough magna cut maybe for 2 more, but they're going pretty fast, and I'm not wanting them to go super, super fast. I want them just to kind of go as people want them. Because they're handmade knives, right? They're done by Shane, and he can crank them out, but he's got some other projects that I don't want to cut into. And Richard, yours should hit tomorrow. It's coming straight to you, buddy. And first thing I want you to do with it is take it out and cut something besides yourself. Please don't cut yourself.
That was a big bust.
What's that?
Just trying to work on this knife and end up it's not gonna work.
What kind of? I don't see it on your sharpener. What kind of work are you doing on it?
Oh no, I'm trying to mod this knife and the hardware is not fitting up right, so I'm gonna have to try to get creative.
I'm kind of depressed because I got some CJRBs. They're budget knives in today, and the one I really wanted was the Pyrite XL, and it's jacked up.
That's what you said earlier.
And it's disappointing because for 2 reasons. For one, they put a safety on it, which I don't know why, and it just doesn't feel like the original Pyrite light. So we'll see what they say, but I'm not going to be able to do a one-off review on it because I don't think it's right. Now the little Laconico design is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like a lot of. I mean, I'm a huge Ray fan, so that.
But would you see it in that? I did not see it if I hadn't seen the blade style. What shows you Laconico? The striping?
Well, no, I mean I know that I'm familiar with that model.
Okay. Because I know he's got a design language that kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, just the elegant simplicity of it is a lot of his designs, and he ends up doing a lot of drop points as well too. He has a lot of other ones. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, a lot of his very noticeable work is drop points. I don't have any. Most of my stuff's in my other room right now, but I'm a huge Laconico fan.
Great point, Zachary. Did you answer Paul? I'm sure you were just answering.
What's that?
What's your modifying?
Oh, I'm working on a project that I have just spent like $50 my hardware for and it doesn't fit. So I'm kind of.
I've got to reach out on your mule. I know I can make that happen.
How the hell did that?
Ryan ordered a bulldog today. And you know what he did? And I told him not to.
What's that?
I wanted him to go straight to TRM because it saves him a little money. And I always like the retailer to get a little extra cash, then have to get the dealer cash. And they had the revision Bs in stock where he could have gotten one at TRM. And he said, "Do you have an affiliate link there?" I said, "No, but I've got their website. Here it is." And he wanted to use one of my affiliate links. So he went to fucking River's Edge Cutlery, used my affiliate link, and he's going to send it in for a blade swap. Like, dude, you did not have to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, too cool.
He's a sweetheart.
He is a sweetheart. Have you talked to him in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
Did he give you the update of what he went through? Going to work?
No, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah, don't let me forget to tell you about that email too. I got screwed by Adrenaline X. Who are they?
I think they're out of Australia. They do hardware for.
Could it just be a long time shipping?
I don't know, but I think they're based out of Australia.
Yeah,
no, I had ordered these parts. I had done all my measurements, everything ended up, and then now it's for some reason the tolerances are off a little bit and doesn't fit. So that's frustrating.
You can't. Do you think they got the sizes wrong?
No, the sizes are right, but the tolerance is off. So that's why I'm going to have to do some modification to figure out if I can readjust some of these screws and links and then take some relief off of the shoulder of the pivots.
I'm trying to find a knife to show you guys to see what you think about it. If I don't find it here in a second, I'm going to stop. Would it be? I thought it came in recently. Anyway, I don't see it. Anyway, there's a company that's been sending me out. Would you like to check out this big fixed blade? And it looks like a pretty nice big fixed blade, but I don't know anything about it. And I was curious if any of y'all had heard about it. Because I'm not that interested. Unless it's let's see. We and Civivi shot me down.
For what?
To see if they wanted me to review some knives. They're not looking till next year. I'm not interested really anyway. I'm trying to get some more budget knives in here to show because I think a lot of people want to see budget knives.
I mean, if you're looking for views, probably.
Yeah, for good. And I don't have as much fun reviewing them, but every now and then I come across a really good one. I don't see it. Anyway, this company's called something, and they make big old overbuilt fixed blade knives. And I don't know. I haven't replied to them yet. I know where it came. It came into Instagram. Hold on. What time is it getting to be, Kyle?
We got almost 30 minutes. Not quite 30 minutes.
All right. Let me find this. I think it's right in here. I'm so bad about messages. I should sit here until tomorrow morning. HX Outdoors. Have y'all ever heard of HX Outdoors?
No.
All right. Let me pull it up and show you what we got. Because I had not either. But I've started to see, and it makes sense. I've started to see some of their knives on YouTube. Of course, because. But they've got a really big website, which means nothing. But this is what they are. And I was trying to see anything in here that looked interesting. And not a lot. Hey, the site's really slow. Is it showing up for y'all? We're starting to?
Yeah.
This is the one that I've been seeing on the internet. And I can't get fired up about them. Does anybody think that they would want a G10 handle? What is a 1018? TD18 DLC?
That's just a model number.
Oh, is that not the steel?
No.
DC53
DC53
blade. What's a DC-53?
It's Chinese, like version of 14Cs technically, but
I got you.
not nearly as good.
So I'm assuming they're made in China. But anyway, I think I'm just going to leave it on red because their fixed blades or their folders don't do anything for me. Their axes and Leathermans don't do much for me. Their slingshots are kind of cool. They're very inexpensive. If somebody likes pocket slingshots.
That just looks like a traditional website for overseas.
Yeah. So anyway, I turn down most of that stuff. That's why I reach out to companies. Zach Stuff, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Zach?
Zach? Homo Felites. Who else have I missed? I missed Cliff earlier. When we have a guest on, it's hard for me to focus on much of anything. And I apologize for that. I do apologize for that. I try to stay caught up in the chat, but it's tough for me.
The downside is I don't know that any of the parts I bought, if I can't get them to work, will fit in any other knife I've got. So now I'm out $50.
Did you order them from what's that place called that sells all the hardware?
I ordered them from Tie Connector.
Tie Connector. Have you anodized them yet?
No.
Could you send them back if you need to replace them? I would think they
no. They don't take returns. I don't think. I mean, Steve's a good dude, but I think it's pretty much like just make sure you're measuring. But regardless, I thought I had all the measurements right, but apparently the tolerance is off slightly, so I'll figure something out.
I mean, I'm sure. Is it like too tight where you could open up the hole a little bit?
Yeah, I got a length issue on one of the screws that I have to cut down and see if I can rethread. And then I've got the shoulders on the pivots are a little too long, so I need to see if I can't.
Paul, are you sure you were screwed by them, or are they just real slow to ship? I don't know if you answered. I'm going up here looking. See if you answered me.
He's talking to Zach. They're going to try to figure it out.
Because if you need me to put them on blast, I'm happy to make a special video about. I don't know who you are, but you fucked my friend.
No, Zach knows him. He's going to get a hold of him for it, Paul.
But did you, Kyle? Did you text me what you needed for your mule? I think you did. You texted me the catalog part. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just couldn't remember if you IG'd it or texted it. I've got
I think I texted.
I'll find it. I just got to think of what I need to reach out for. If I'd have done it the week before you mentioned it, they sent me a Holier Nerd. I'm having trouble flicking right now.
No, I did not. Yeah, I did actually. You sent me a bunch of messages after that. Yeah, I sent you in text the link.
I will get it. Because I can't imagine it costing that much unless they've just got it set. And if nothing else, I can just ask them why and say I need the hardware. I wish there was something else. I've got enough hardware. I've got enough clips. I'm trying to think of what I could ask them for, order from them. I've gotten pretty good with my Bally Song knife. I don't find it effective. I don't think I could recommend it outside the fact that it's kind of a unique lock.
Seems gimmicky to me, but hey.
There's absolutely no blade play. I feel like sending it to you to check it out because I think you would appreciate it.
I want nothing to do with it.
I haven't cut myself yet, which is.
But I appreciate it though. I wasn't trying to be mean. That had zero interest for me.
I had zero interest except the name of the hazard and seeing some people, Melissa Backwoods in particular, struggling with it. Because some people will hold it by this right here and get into these weird spins. Because as long as you're holding it from right here, you're not going to come into contact with any blade. But it looks really reckless. And it looks worse.
I don't like the company either, so I have no interest in it. But I appreciate the offer.
Dude, I'm a fan and grew up on Kaisers like this one. But the concepts that I've been getting this year, because they're every single one of them I've
that
got.
was a concept? I thought that was a boss tee.
No, that was a concept.
Okay.
It's actually made by a guy, not concept. It's made by a fellow by the name of, I forget who the designer is, but all of their knives, they don't have one knife that's an internal design. They're all external designs. And, they're doing 1931 Leatherworks,
Right.
Little, what's it called? I'm going blank. Orlock.
I have very low interest in overseas made knives right now.
Well, I know.
And the only ones I do would be to support a buddy.
And I'm the same way. I do them just to bring them out there. And you know how I've always told you Concept uses S35VN to keep the prices down?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they sent me a MagnaCut, but this Nahal or Nahaul, the other three models are MagnaCut. Now, I don't know how hard it is. I don't know how good it is, but it's MagnaCut steel instead of S35 or 20CV.
They can stamp whatever they want to stamp on it.
Well, true. But you got to think somebody will test it. I know that CBX.
Okay, go ahead.
That CRBX guy who got the recent HRC tester, he'll probably test one.
Yeah, but so you can, I know we've been over this, but you can get good HRC and stuff with bad heat treat.
Absolutely. And still not have it perform. And the only way to test
the correct steel.
The only way to test it is to cut it. Cut with it.
Yeah, I mean, because even a spectrometer is not going to show whether it's actual legit or not.
I'll show you guys a picture real quick.
The weird thing is though, so like S35 and MagnaCut, there's not a huge difference in price. Here, I can just tell you, I've got the.
That's surprising to me, and I've always liked S35. I know I'm wrong about that.
S35 is okay if it's done well. Let's see. What did I say that was?
You were looking at S35 and MagnaCut.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what there's for a 2-foot bar stock of S35, it is $9 cheaper than a 2-foot bar of MagnaCut,
which comes out to nominal per blade.
Yeah.
To that little dude.
Say you're doing 3 1/4-inch blade, you're getting roughly 6.5 or 6 to 7 blades out of that.
So you're not even talking $1.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Check this out, Kyle. 3 nights ago, he reluctantly came in the house. And this cat was hissing at me, would not come close to me, and now it's a house cat. Comes out, but he hangs out with Tippy in the house. Nice. I know you're not a cat fan, but he's pretty cool.
If it makes you happy, that's all that matters.
Well, he's a badass because, for one, I knew it was getting cold, and I didn't think he'd ever warm up. But there's this big cat called Cheeto that I've told you all about that comes around and wants treats, and it's like twice the size of Tippy, and my cat Tippy's terrified of it. Well, he came up, turned the corner of the steps, and this little guy, Puck, was standing beside me, who's tiny. And Cheeto took 1 step up the step, and Puck came down 3 steps, all 4 claws out, landed on Cheeto, and all I saw was 2 tufts of white hair come up, and Cheeto hauled ass. He's a little gangster.
Nice.
Todd Carr, I know you're joking.
No, because the clip said he got ads too.
Well, I cannot make it any less. Because watch, even when I go up here, let me show y'all a trick. This will just be for science. Hopefully it will serve an ad. Because when I go up here, my ad automator's off, right? If I click this button, it allegedly inserts an ad. Tell me if y'all see an ad. That's the only way I can insert an ad. Anything else YouTube's doing against my wishes.
I'm on StreamYard, so it doesn't show up.
I don't think it shows up in my feed either. Just in the chat, not on the video itself. Oh, did it come up like a split screen? I've been getting those where like the video will go silent where we're talking and it'll go over to the left side of the screen, and over to the right, I'll get a screen. Okay, that was a video ad that I unfortunately served. Check it. So I am a jerk. I apologize. Okay, that was one that was served, but you guys should not get any ads because I've got them turned off. I can't zoom on this, but the ads automator's off, which means they should not serve at all. So I do apologize, and I'm not in it for ad revenue, or I do like other creators and go, if you don't super chat me X amount of dollars, I'm going to start running ads, but I wouldn't do that to y'all. Hey, Kyle, I did think of a reason for our notes section tonight.
Dude, that's weird.
What's that?
I was wondering, my lockup felt weird on this, and then I just looked down and the lock bar screw had just popped out. Or the lock-in face screw.
But you can stick it right back in.
Yeah. I got it back in. It was weird that I was like,
I had my first lock bar failure. My null knives voodoo broke and the detent ball came out. And I didn't realize that the actual little metal thing that held it in had broken. And I reached out to Null and they immediately sent me one. And it was what I thought was going to be a tricky modification to get it back in. But it went in fine and it locked up fine. I was surprised.
Yeah, this was just it was on my hinder. I was sitting there flipping my hinder and I felt something odd a little bit on kind of locking up weird. And then I looked down and the screw popped out and I found the screw, luckily.
Dude, I've noticed that. I haven't checked my lock bars, but I need to. And every one of my hinders, I Loctited them all last week, but all of mine are loose. All of them loosened up, almost to the point of falling out. And I need to check my lock bars because that's something I haven't checked. But check your body screws because I've lost hinder body screws before. They're real good about sending you replacements as long as they're not finished.
Yeah, they'll back out, but I've got aftermarket ones in here, and I've also got them tied down pretty good. So
5 Doors got something for you.
Nice, buddy. I don't.
No, I don't knife nut. I can show you guys because I have no fear in showing you, but I can show you what a live stream makes in ad revenue. Let me go to one real quick. And I'm not doing it for revenue. The reason I want to do a vertical on Tuesday nights, Shane's convinced me, is because of the viewers it attracts. So the trick to ad revenue, I'm slowly learning, is to make content that people want to watch, that a lot of people watch. So if you're not getting 20, 30, 40,000 views, you're not making any revenue. So if I look at Friday Night Flicks from, what date's that? Let's just open this one up.
Since 5 Doors here, I was going to show this off real quick.
Show it off. Let me make you big.
I did not get to the post office today like I wanted to. Here's the only recurve thug in existence.
That is so good looking.
Look at those scales.
What are those made out of?
So resin.
It looks like micarta.
No, it looks, I mean, in person, it looks like a funky looking wood.
It looks gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, it's cool.
You do add a lot to them. So here's Friday Night Flicks from the 15th of August. It's just one I picked by random to show y'all type of booty I'm pulling off y'all. And this is with the random ads. This is a 2 hour and 15 minute video that made $2.58.
Hang on. I messed something up.
I'm not sharing.
There we go.
I did it.
You were, but I ended up messing it up because I was trying to get myself off of the large screen.
No, this is a stream from, it had 56 live views, got other views, and it's a $2.58 moneymaker. And then if I go to one closer, like Friday Night Flicks last week, that shows 292 views.
That was G Carta, by the way. Shane just answered the question on that.
It made $1.70 and I lost a subscriber, so I must have said something to piss somebody off. But yeah, I don't serve ads in lives, and YouTube tries to get us to, because YouTube wants to serve ads. So evidently now they're not even looking at our choice, because I used to have to choose it and choose I don't want ads, and now they just automatically don't even let you choose. But as you can tell, even when they're serving ads, like last week, I'm making $1 in about 3 hours, which is fine. I'm not in it for the cash. Cliff Brand.
We got 8 minutes.
Guys, look out for the guy or gal to your left. All channel members, please come to the live tomorrow at 2:30. All you have to do is stop in, say hey, leave the secret word. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but it'll be cool. I love each and every one of you. Thanks for coming. Come tomorrow, come Tuesday, watch my videos, enjoy each other. Kyle, you got anything else?
No, have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Be it said, Stevie. Peace.
But are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?